My name is Fat JD, and as you can see, me and Elon Musk are here at Tim Wall's residence, and we're taking him out for a night of fun. Let's go, y'all!
All right, don't try this at home!
That was a good one. My name is Tim Walls, and this is the Tampon Rocket. Let's fucking go! My name is Tim Walls, and this is the Tampon Rocket. Let's fucking go! My name is Fat JD, and this is Tampon Timmy's race car. My name is Tim Walls, and this is the Tampon Rocket. Let's fucking go! Oh my God! I'm gonna shit my pants! Focus, Tampon Timmy, focus! You got this, my little retarded friend! Let's fucking go! Tim Walls is about to find out what happens when you fuck around guys.
Oh, that guy is so funny, man. That guy is so funny. I swear. How's everybody going? Look there's Bella there. She's just chilling with her little baby, chilling tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm Jim, and I'm here to tell you some news. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any white tonight. I didn't have any really lined up. I couldn't find anything. I looked for a while, and I couldn't find anything that met the criteria for what would be a good segment for that. But I do have a bunch of news stories to talk about. I want to thank everybody who's here. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and everything, a wonderful time, and looking forward to a happy new year, as they say. Want to do thank you all for being here, and let's just get right into the news. Please remember, hit the like button if you haven't already, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And someone says there's a rant already. Wow. And there is. There's a. Oh, look at that. Look at that there. There's a. Let me put this. Look at that. Dizzy D with 25. So Bella gets to stay. Yes, Bella gets to stay. What do you know? Thank you, Dizzy D. Rant. And so with that, then that will take our banner to being that there is $75 away from the first additional hour of the show. Alrighty. Sounds good. Cash App 2. Oh, wow. And another 25 for Miss for 25 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that means we are now 50 away. Just 50 away from the first additional hour of the show. Wow. Man, you guys are really coming through for the old Jim Cerrone. Yeah, thank you, Dizzy D, and thank Ag too for another 25 from Ag. That was great. Let's oh, J Leapgot says, glad you're back. Missed you yesterday. Well, yeah, I was planning on streaming yesterday. I had a show lined up to go, and then at the last minute, I had to go out with people and do stuff with them, and I didn't make it home until beyond the time that I could start the show. And actually, I was if you see this look on my face, CZM Cat says, thanks, Jim. Evening was looking bleak. Always glad to see you. Glad to see you too. I'm still a little hungover from last night, so and I just switched to Sanka, so have a heart. Anyone who knows that movie gets a star from Jim. Yes, please hit the like, please subscribe and share and hit the notification bell. Yeah, anyone know that movie? Can you name that movie? Yeah, had to in real life. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Lurkin got guests too. Well, that's okay, Nanny. Goes great to see. Anybody who knows that movie? I just switched to Sanka. Have a heart. Yeah, that's too bad. So let's get into the news story. Nobody knows it. Night shift? No, not night shift. Close. Same time frame. Not Fast Times. There you go. There you go. Fast Times. Richard Wharton gets a gold star. Fast Times. That's right. The what the hell is his name? The like weird looking teacher that takes him to the morgue, and he's going into the morgue with him. And then Spicoli sneaks. He goes, "Are you in this class?" He goes, "I am today." Yes. Dan Gagax gets it too. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's right. Great movie. My dad has an awesome set of tools. He can fix anything. I can fix your car. I can fix anything. My dad's got a TV repairman. He's got an awesome set of tools. So let's get into this. Outrage erupts as released MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia is posting TikTok videos, while DHS remains silenced by an activist judge. That's right. There's a judge that put Harry met Phoebe Cates and activist judge that put a gag order on the Justice Department that they can't talk about Kilmar, but he can make TikTok videos. That seems a little odd, if you ask me. Like odd, odd. Yeah, righteous bucks. That's right, righteous bucks. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a documented MS-13 gang member that has MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles, and human trafficker, is now freely posting videos on TikTok in the United States following his release from immigration detention by an activist judge. Meanwhile, officials at the Department of Homeland Security find themselves muzzled by a gag order imposed by U.S. District Judge foreign-born Paula Zines, an Obama appointee. Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran national, has long been on the radar of U.S. law enforcement for his affiliations with the notorious MS-13. I think it's called like Mara Salvatrucha or something, 13, also known as Mara Salvatrucha. It's right there. Holy crap, Jim. Wow. Originating in the Los Angeles area in the 1980s and spreading across the U.S. and Central America, MS-13 is infamous for its involvement in violent crimes, including murder, extortion, and human trafficking. I think maybe I'm not 100% sure, but I think MS-13, the reason it started in Los Angeles had to do with drug trafficking. I think maybe. I think it started when that whole Iran Contra, Freeway Ricky Ross. What's he put up on TikTok lately? He's been posting videos on TikTok. That's what we're talking about, Ben. He's been posting videos on TikTok talking shit about, about us, the U.S., what a shitty country we are. And now he's going to take over and become the new president. And we work for him now. Oh, wait. Phoebe Cates and Kevin Kline were my next door neighbors in New York City. Pretty normal for celebs. Really? Are they? Phoebe Cates and Kevin Kline are married? Really? Kevin Kline is always, he was in a, what's it called? A Fish Called Wanda, a Fish Named Wanda, a Fish Called Wanda, or something like that. That movie was a good movie. Yeah. I didn't even say hi to everybody here tonight. Look at, I'm like out of it. I'm sorry. I'm like out of, I'm off my game. I really am. Let me get back to the beginning here. So Kevin says 10:30. I says yes. Iowa Backyard Cam is here. Great to see you. G Sharkman says happy holidays, everyone. Michelle Perez is here. 7407. What's up? None of your business is take care, Jimmy. Your family should come first. That's right. Tuck Week is upset about the paid members. Now, I'm sorry. It's really weird. It's really weird. He says, I know, and it's subscriber only. Now there is a thing that just says on the chat, subscribers only for 5 minutes, but is it giving you a warning when you try to chat, telling you that you have to be a subscriber to chat? Because you're our subscribers, you're members. You can't be a member if you're not a subscriber. I don't think. Maybe you can be. I don't know. Hey, we're back here talking about amazing weather for the holidays. Now you're back to zero temperature. Feels like -20. That's too bad. That's too bad. None of your business says, I can see what you're saying, so it must be working. Sometimes says, hey, Jim, didn't think we see you tonight. Thanks for coming on. Well, I'm great. And then Emerald Eye says, love watching. Your volume is so low. I turned it up. 3 dB, so that should have doubled it. I hope it's not too loud for everybody. That's right. I turned it up to 11. Steve Hilliard's here. Best chatters in the world. Yeah, that's right, Jim. What's up? Best chatters they are. Terry's here. What's up, Terry? Great to see you. We'll call Magic's here. Great to see you. Jay Leadgott's here. Audra's here. Great to see you. Dan Gagax is here. Great to see you. Yeah, Diamond G's here. What's up, Diamond G? Renee Collins is here. Great to see you. Sharon Tyler's here. And I think I said Sunshine already. Hey, Sunshine, how you doing? Lambs shake their tails rather rapidly. Yes, they do. Sharon Tyler's here. Great to see you. Catherine K's here. Awesome. Ag's here. That's right. And, she did send Disney sent a rant, which was great. And then Ag sent Cash App. That was beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you. Cesium Cat's here. Great to see you. SB Farmer's here. Awesome. Nanny Goat. Great to see you. Vegas. Vegans taste like chicken. Richard Wharton was here too. Neurodivergent one's here. Great. Richard Wharton's here. Great. Who else? Ben Frail. Great to see you. MS-13 are from Colombia. They are narco terrorists that are de facto run the country. Okay. Hey, Colorado Mountain Girl's here. What's up? Great to see you. Awesome. Called. Jay Markle's here too. What's up, man? Great to see you. What the F's here? Awesome. Hey, y'all. Great to see you. YouTube is just glitchy for the last week or so. There's been like some weird stuff going on. There's been server issues. I know that. I don't know, not just with YouTube, with other stuff. Like there's been a lot of hacking and attacks going on. Too many to say hello, but I'm sure glad to see you all. Yeah, I'm trying. We got a small. I'm trying to say hello to everyone. That way, no one feels left out. Because I appreciate every single person that's here. I really do. Wow. How did I go from 72 to 47? What the hell did I do? I upset a lot of people. That's crazy. Salty C's here. Hey, what's up? Great to see you. Garcia's criminal history included a 2018 conviction for gang participation in Prince George's County. Wait, so he does have a criminal history. Oh. He was found guilty of actively supporting MS-13 gang activities. It's the anti-Christmas lobby trying to take away your joy. The latest chapter in Garcia's saga began earlier this year when DHS launched an investigation into his role in human smuggling. Okay. We've had a ton of StreamYard issues since Thursday. I hope I don't have StreamYard issues. Sandy Vargas, hey, great to see you. Awesome. You're driving around on a drop top. That's nice. I remember MS-13 back in the early 70s when I was a junior in high school, all the graffiti that was on painted over the overpass in Pomona. So they were around since the 70s? I'm trying to think when. I don't think the whole Iran-Contra stuff didn't start until like 80, 81, right? So that must have been, they must have been around before that. Snowed in? Yeah. In April, DHS released a detailed investigation report outlining a traffic stop that led authorities to believing Garcia was involved in transporting undocumented, let's call them illegal aliens, across the borders for profit. The report painted a picture of a man deeply embedded in transnational criminal networks with ties to smuggling operations that exploit vulnerable individuals. Sorry. Is that better? Okay. In December, Judge Paula Zines ordered Garcia's immediate release from immigration detention, citing procedural concerns and what she described as insufficient evidence to justify prolonged holding without trial. MS-13 wasn't involved in Iran-Contra. That was the Contras in Nicaragua and the LA street gangs. I thought it had to do it. I thought it was tied through El Salvador too, though, for some reason. I know it was Nicaragua, but I thought it was. You had a bunch of cholos and cholas as friends. Okay. For some reason, I thought El Salvador was involved in it too. El Salvador, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think El Salvador was. I got to fix Bill's camera. I think El Salvador is where they had at the time a government that was actually helping to supply like a drug transshipment point. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Because if you know the story of Barry Seal, let me take this off. Banner, no media assets. Let me take that off so you can see Bella better. Of Barry Seal, the plane, the place where the pictures were taken of Pablo Escobar loading the plane from Barry Seal's on Barry Seal's plane was in El Salvador. Pretty sure it was like a stop off point. They stopped off in El Salvador, like brought there and planes flew into El Salvador, picked up the drugs, and then flew them out. Pretty sure, maybe. I don't know. Could be wrong. El Salvador was being overrun by commies helped by the Sandinistas, I think. They were all trading drugs for weapons and favors from the CIA. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, too, if you ever watched the movie Narcos, not the movie, the series Narcos on Netflix, they show the guy, what's his name? The thin man, Gallego, which is weird. We have a senator from the U.S. whose last name is Gallego. And then the guy who ran the Sinaloa cartel's name was Gallego. I wonder if they're related. Anyway, when he takes the trip, the CIA has him, or the Mexican federales, I think what they're called, the FDS, FDS, is it? FSD? NEC. They have him go to meet a CIA guy in El Salvador. And that's all stuff that actually happened. I have Cholo's PJs. Dawn ordered me women's XL by mistake. They're about a foot too short. The Mongols were present in Southern California in the 70s, but I think MS-13 came in about the 80s. Well, that person says they were there. Garcia was subsequently detained by ICE. In December, he ordered his release, citing procedures. Okay, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem publicly condemned the ruling, calling it a threat to national security and accusing the judge of prioritizing the rights of criminals over American safety. They do that all the time, these judges. They just let career criminals go, and then they end up murdering people, like stabbing women on a train that are just looking at their phone. The release didn't end there. Garcia was required to check in with immigration authorities the following day, but Zinnes issued an additional order blocking any reattempt to redetain him. The human smuggling trial against Garcia was ultimately canceled, with critics arguing that the case was undermined by judicial interference. Adding insult to injuries, Garcia's defense team successfully pushed for a gag order against top Trump administration officials, including Attorney General Pam Bondi and Secretary Noem. This was the third such complaint from his attorneys, who claimed public statements from the government figures were prejudicing his right to a fair trial. You thought they started as a prison game in Colombia in the 80s? Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a expert. Nick Shirley deserves a Pulitzer. Yes, he does. We got some of his stuff today still. He's doing the Lord's work. Just days after his release, Garcia wasted no time in leveraging social media. In a TikTok video that has since gone viral, he is seen outdoors in a residential area wearing a baseball cap and a Nike hoodie, passionately singing a Spanish language Christian hymn. MS-13 terrorist was released by a rogue judge, is now making TikToks.
Cuando no estés frente al mar, lo te- solo
I have a feeling that this is this song is going to get me copyrighted. So
si detrás viene para.
yeah, so this is what he's doing. He's making TikTok videos. Yeah. He needs to go home. The lyrics, which reference biblical miracles like the parting of the Red Seas and overcoming trials through faith, include lines such as, "When you have crossed the Red Sea, call on this man with faith. Only he opens the sea. You will pass to the other side, and you will sing the hymn of victory." There's going to be no victory for him. The video appears to celebrate his newfound freedom, framing his release as divine triumph over adversity. No, she says, no, the early 70s, there was a lot of them over the San Gabriel Valley. Okay. Garcia also spoke about out publicly in Baltimore, Maryland, addressing a crowd, portraying himself as a victim of overzealous enforcement. His actions have drawn sharp contrast with the gag order binding DHS, leading to accusations that the justice system is upside down and empowering criminals while handcuffing law enforcement. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what these judges all do. That's their whole purpose. DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin responded to Garcia's video in a post on X. She said, "So we at DHS are under a gag order by an activist judge, and Kilmar Abriga Garcia is making TikTok videos. American justice ceases to function when its arbiters silence law enforcement and give megaphones to those who oppose our legal system." So we at DHS are under a gag order by an activist judge. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy, right? That's insane. In the membrane. Insane in the brain. MS-13 provided the booger sugar to Hollywood in the 70s. Yeah, like a lot of people don't realize there was cocaine coming into the country in the 70s, even in the 60s, even before that, but it was like not large amounts. It was very niche. And it was because it was like it was big in Peru, and and obviously it didn't actually get really popular in Colombia until like later, like until after the fall of Pinochet, or maybe no, was it or no Pinot? I'm sorry, when Pinochet started, not the fall of Pinochet, when Pinochet started getting rid of all the commies, then the drug dealers, he started executing them all. Then one guy, well, I mean, that's the story, that's the legend, is that one guy named La Cucaracha, cockroach, brought a bunch of paste and stuff from Peru to, or from Chile to Peru, somewhere, I don't know, maybe Chile to Peru, or no, he went to Chile to Colombia and then went to Peru. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, Pinochet was Chile, right? He was the leader of Chile, I think so. Chile. Anyway, we're getting into history and geography, and it's not my strong. David Christiani says, "Hi, Jim and everyone in chat. Jim, do you have any stories about the refineries that are closing in California, and Anheuser-Busch in Fairfield, California is also closing? Thank you." I don't have anything about those. From what I understand, the refineries are being closed in California by order of the California state government. They want them shut down because they like high gas prices. As far as the Anheuser-Busch facility in Fairfield, it's probably yeah, driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. There's trouble ahead, trouble behind. When you've got that notion, just cross my mind. Bow, 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 bow. According to Wikipedia, MS-13 started in LA in the 80s among the Salvadoran community. Many got sent back when the Civil War ended in 92, and they became international. That's what I thought. I thought they were a Salvadoran gang. I thought they were like the enemies to the California government harasses every business. Yeah, I have that's probably what it is. Also, there's probably some reason that Anheuser-Busch is like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. We can't pay these people the money they're trying to get them paid, and they're probably putting more restrictions. They're voluntarily shutting down and leaving the state because California is making it impossible for them to effectively function here. That's what happens when commies take over. They're gonna, they want to seize the means of production, but what they're really doing is canceling all the production. All right, let's go to this other story, which I thought was very interesting. It says derivative citizenship is one more immigration loophole that Trump needs to look into. You know what derivative citizenship is? Wow. It says the widespread myth that ICE is deporting U.S. citizens is supported by a handful of unusual cases involving derivative citizenship. Derivative citizenship means a child automatically becomes a U.S. citizen when a foreign parent naturalizes, provided the child meets specific legal conditions, generally being under 18, holding lawful permanent resident status, residing in the United States in a legal and physical custody of the citizen parent, and the parent having become a U.S. citizen before the child turned 18. Living on Reds, vitamin C, and cocaine. Jim's a deadhead. InBev is just moving out of California. Oh. Derivative citizenship is distinct from acquisition of citizenship, which applies when a child is born abroad to U.S. citizen parents and becomes a citizen at birth. Individuals who derive citizenships may later apply for a certificate of citizenship to document that status. In most high-profile cases where derivative citizenship is claimed, the individuals had prior criminal records that led to removal proceedings. Citizenship claims were often raised or re-examined only after those proceedings began. In these cases, individuals were arrested for non-immigration crimes and, in some instances, had already been incarcerated for other offenses. A further common factor is the failure to produce documentation proving U.S. citizenship at the time of arrest or detention. Derivative citizenship, like chain migration, is an area President Trump should look into and consider halting. It complicates immigration enforcement and fuels anti-enforcement narratives built on rare, exceptional cases rather than the reality of how immigration law functions. It says Shanthila Suvirana was born in a Thai refugee camp in 1981 and came to the United States as an infant with her lawful permanent residence. He claims, that's a man. Okay. Sorry. He says he claims derivative citizenship based on his father's naturalization when Savaranathan was 13 and living in his custody following his parents' divorce. His case arose after a serious criminal history, including a 2004 conviction for unlawful firearm possession and second-degree domestic assault, along with a prior misdemeanor assault. He lost his green card and received a removal order in 2006. In October 2025, he was deported to Laos despite a federal judge issuing a temporary restraining order, finding a substantial claim to U.S. citizenship. ICE maintains the order was served after the deportation had already been executed. Hey, Vanilla Gorilla's here. What's up, buddy? Great to see you. Y'all just jealous of Minnesota's quality leering centers. Yeah, that's the thing is they're leering at all the women's there that don't have burqas on. They leer at them. And then you got see, this I don't understand though. Why would he have a green card if he had derivative citizenship? Obviously, it's a story they came up with later. Like, more than likely, here's the thing. Come on. If his parents got divorced in the 80s or 90s, there's no way that he was living with his father. He was living with the mother. Why would you have, if you were a citizen, you wouldn't have a green card? So that's this whole thing. He lost his green card and received a removal order. Mario Rene Lopez was born in El Salvador and entered the United States at age 12 as a lawful permanent resident. How does that happen? He claims derivative citizenship through his mother, who naturalized in 98 when he was still a minor. His claims turns on whether he was born out of wedlock without legitimation. I don't even know if that's a word. Legitimation. I know legitization anyway, which would allow citizenship to derive through his mother alone. The government argues that El Salvador's 83 constitutional reform eliminated distinctions between legitimate and illegitimate children, thereby legitimizing him and requiring proof that his father also naturalized. Lopez had no relationship with his father, who never became a citizen. He has been detained for more than 2 years following a criminal conviction. Leering means give me mines in Minnesota. That's right. That means not a bastard. Well, they should have called him, instead of Lopez, they should have called him Snow. He's been detained in cases pending in Fourth Circuit. The 2009 decision in Flores Torres v. Holder supports his claim. Another decision that sucks. Brian Buckley case is another derivative citizenship matter, and one of few instances cited as evidence that ICE was forced to pay damages through public betrayals differ sharply from underlying facts. Advocacy accounts often begin with Bukele's transfer into ICE custody while admitting how he entered the prison system. Buckley was convicted of assault and firearm possession and served a state prison sentence from July 2018 to June 2020. After completing that sentence, he was transferred from the California prison system into ICE custody in June 2020 and held at the Mesa Verde facility in Bakersfield for 36 days. He repeatedly told officials he was a U.S. citizen, but neither California prison officials nor ICE verified his status at the time. A verbal claim is not proof of citizenship, and assertions that officials failed to verify his status are misleading. Bukele had no documentation establishing citizenship, and his claim was legally contested. He was born in the British Virgin Islands in 1959 and entered the United States in 61 as a lawful permanent resident. In 68, when he was 9, his parents naturalized as U.S. citizens. Under the law in effect at the time, minor children who were lawful permanent residents automatically derive citizenship when their parents naturalized. Evidence supporting that conclusion includes the fact that Bukele's twin brother received a certificate of citizenship in the 80s, and his sister received one in 2006, both citing their parents' 68 naturalization. An INS officer also concluded in the 90s that Bukele was a U.S. citizen during an investigation. There is no indication, however, that Bukele himself ever applied for or received a certificate of citizenship. That guy's done some tracking courtesy of the U.S. government. Yeah, Snow. That was a Game of Thrones joke for you guys that don't know. Derivative citizenship is automatic, but proof is not. Without documentation, there is no record in immigration databases confirming citizenship. When ICE reviewed his file, it reflected a foreign-born individual with a criminal conviction and no citizenship documentation on record. They probably didn't spend time in jail. Probably. Bukele's derivative citizenship was ultimately established when immigration attorneys obtained and presented his parents' naturalization records and demonstrated statutory timing requirements. That process took 36 days. Bukele filed a federal civil rights lawsuit on November 22nd, 2021, in the U.S. District Court of the Central District of California, alleging false arrest and false imprisonment. In 2022, he reached a $150,000 settlement with the federal government. Well, that was the Biden government just giving him money. Here you go. Plaintiffs described the settlement as compensation for ICE illegal arrest and detention, but a settlement is not a judicial finding after trial and typically includes no admission of liability. Another case is even more complicated. Davino Watson was born in Jamaica and came to the United States at age 14. His father naturalized in 2002, which automatically made Watson a U.S. citizen under the Child Citizenship Act of 2000. Watson was 23 when ICE arrested him in 2008. Well, wait, if he came at 14 in 1998, in 2002, that would make him 18. In 2002, that would make him 18, so not a minor. In 2007, Watson pleaded guilty to selling cocaine when his sentence ended in May 2008. ICE took him into custody. Watson told ICE he was a U.S. citizen and provided his father and stepmother's names and phone number, which appeared in his pre-sentencing report. ICE did not contact them. Contacting parents is not considered legal proof of citizenship. Instead, agents searched their database for Hopton Ulando Watson, but located records for Hopton Livingston Watson, a different person who was not a U.S. citizen, lived in Connecticut rather than New York, did not have a son named Davino, and entered the United States at a different time. ICE failed to notice the discrepancies and concluded Watson was deportable. When did that happen? 2008. So that happened under Barack Obama. Watson was detained for 1,273 days. So this was all under Barack Obama. Roughly 3.5 years. He contested the case for 811 days before obtaining a lawyer. He was released November 2011 and received a certificate of citizenship in 2013. In district court, Judge Weinstein found ICE liable for false imprisonment for the first 27 days and awarded $82,500. On appeal, the Second Circuit reversed on a statute of limitation grounds, holding that the 2-year limitation period expired. Oh, what do you know? So yeah, we need to do something about derivative citizenship. It shouldn't happen. Well, yeah, well, you're right. You're absolutely right. In 2008, George W. Bush was still president, but it said he was arrested in 2008, and then they held. Let's go back. It was arrested in 2008, and they held him for 1,273 days. So that was under Obama that they held him. I mean, that's like 4 years. He didn't get out until 2011. Obama was definitely president in November 2011. That was 3 years into Obama's presidency. Sunshine says, I think Jim forgot to set a goal tonight. Maybe he's free tonight. Well, I did I thought I set a goal. There should be a goal. Is it not posted? There's a goal, but, you know, I set the goal. I didn't even talk about the goal because before, when I first started the show, I already had like a 225. 25 came in on Rumble and then 25 on Cash App from Ag, and then from D-Watt. I think it was, right? I don't want to be wrong. Diz D. I'm sorry, Diz D82, not D-Watt. I'm sorry, Diz D. On the Rumbles. But so I didn't even talk about the goal. So whatever. So here we got this. Shocking EBT fraud schemes exposed in Ohio's Somali community. This is some crazy stuff, man. All this stuff. We kind of talked about this the other night. Trumpinator says, Jim set the goal. He's not free, and neither is Bella. Thank you all so much. Was that too loud? That sounded loud to me. Thank you so much. And with that, we are now $45 away from the first additional hour of the show. It's a really good show, and it's going to be a show, and it's a really good show. Thank you, Trumpinator. Thank you, definitely. Thank you. An independent journalist in Ohio, Nick Shirley, uncovered elaborate fraud schemes alleging, I don't know, maybe this wasn't Nick Shirley. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was. Maybe I look stupid. I don't know. Involving the Somali immigrants exploiting the EBT welfare benefit system. The investigation detailed in video has gone viral on social media, highlights how some individuals are using welfare benefits to subsidize their businesses while evading taxes. Oh, look, I think Spuds just gifted a membership or something. I'm going to have to look. You just watched this on our news in Australia. Well, I apologize. Spuds gifted a gift membership over there on the Rumbles. Thank you, Spuds. Let's see who gets it. Gotta wait for someone that isn't a member to chat in Rumble. If you're not a member on Rumble, go chat in Rumble. Become a member on Rumble. Rumble. Maybe I'll chat. Maybe I'll get the membership. Wouldn't that be crappy? Hello there. Oh, I don't think I can get one. Never mind. Quack. Hello there. Moo. Quack. Oh, you guys can see him. I have it on the screen. What am I doing? Gundam Ziggs there, man. Anyway, so we'll see who gets it. I'm going to wait. Bella says moo. Bella is kind of a cowish type dog. Mm-hmm. And then the video posted by Wall Street Apes shows the journalist. Hey, how Glow? What's up at Glow 3139? How you doing? Or is it G-Lo? Is it G-Lo or Glow? Probably Glow. Or maybe it's Gloria. Maybe. Could be. Might be. Wow, we've been going only 40 minutes and we already got over 100 people watching. That's great. That's just great. That's a great, a really, really big show. He described how Somali-owned restaurants are often attached to grocery stores, allowing owners to use EBT cards to purchase bulk ingredients for their eateries. It's Glow, short for Gloria. Oh, so that's cool. Nice to see you, Gloria. And Gundam Ziggs posted some ducks over there. Duck, 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 duck. Yes, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Does anyone think that Gavin Newscomb is going to try to make Fairfield, California into a 15-minute city like they're trying to do with the Pacific Palisades where the fire was in LA? Maybe. I think they're gonna, Gail Christie. I think they're gonna try. Where are you going? Be right back. Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door or within eye shot of the restaurant. They can just order everything they need to their grocery store that's right next or attached to the restaurant. And they can also own and never have to fill a single cart. Huh. Mm-hmm. Journalist in Ohio discovers more shocking Somali immigration fraud. Somalis in Ohio. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The Somalians have it figured out in Columbus. I went to the Walmart on Georgesville to see if I could see people filling their carts or just kind of see what I could see. It's not the way they do it. They've got it figured out way better than that. Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door or within eye shot of the restaurant. The specific one I went into today had it attached to the restaurant. And wow, what an adventure that was. Stay tuned for more on that. Anyways, the grocery store and the restaurant were the same building. So they don't have to go to a Walmart or a Sam's Club or a Costco necessarily. They can just order everything they need to their grocery store that's right next to or attached to the restaurant that they also own and never have to fill a single cart. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the records of those grocery stores, they lose tons of money every year, and it's probably used as a tax write-off because those groceries are being funneled into those restaurants with a daycare center on the opposite side. And that's the common trend you'll see. There's restaurants, grocery stores, and daycare centers, and also home health care businesses. I can't forget the home health care businesses. Nakia was absolutely right. And the reason for the daycare centers, I found out while I was at Walmart. 3/4 of the workers I saw working in Walmart, especially the cashiers, were Somali women. You got to figure if you have 2 or 3 wives that you don't have to claim, these women can go work at Walmart full time for $15 an hour and still qualify for food stamps as long as they have a couple kids, which you can guarantee you they at least have 2 kids. Hell, they average 7. Or same story as working as a home health care aide. They have most definitely figured out the system and how to take advantage of it. And Columbus doesn't break down its numbers like Minnesota, but if anything like the 88% of the Somali community is on social services in Columbus, I can only imagine how deep the fraud is. So I'm changing tactics and going back up Monday, and I have a couple ideas to see if I can't sniff a few things out.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That is just amazing. And then I totally forgot this, so I'm going to take care of this now. Dr. Megawatts, what's up, buddy? Mega knots. Sorry, not megawatts. Mega knots. Knots. I don't know. Anyway, became a member on Rumble thanks to Spuds. And so that means we are now $40 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you, Spuds. And thank you, Dr. Mega Knots. That's right. And then Mr. Dan Gagax says that good luck with Fairfield being a 15-minute city. It's the bedroom community for Travis Air Force Base. Yeah, I mean, that's unless they're going to try to run the Air Force Base out of there. Maybe that's what they're going to try to do. Yes. Hello, how you doing? Great to see you. And then, forgive me, but what is meant by a 15-minute city? I've never heard that term before. It's what the climate people came up with. They want cities to be like these giant, like basically that you can get anything you need within 15 minutes. You never have to go more than 15 minutes away. You don't need any cars. You know, you'll have like moving sidewalks to move you around. Basically, like a giant, like I don't know. Do you ever remember see the movie or know what Judge Dredd is? Mega City, like that, where basically it's all inside and it's not outside ever. You don't ever like even see sunlight. You're like in a giant building. So that's what a 15-minute cities is part of Agenda 2030. So, like, if you're, like I said, that's the best way I can describe it. Something like Judge Dredd, Mega City, like inside Mega City. I am the law. Mm-hmm. Yeah, places where you will own nothing and be happy. That's right. You pay rent, and you. It's more like Hunger Games. Okay, more like Hunger Games, like China. In other words, yeah, kind of like China. China. Mm-hmm. So journalist also points out the roles. Oh, wait. There we go. So according to the investigator, these grocery stores are likely to report significant losses annually, which are used as tax write-offs while the restaurants operate on cash, funneling the government-funded goods into profitable ventures. The journalist also points out the role of polygamous marriages in the community, noting that multiple wives can claim benefits as single mothers, further maximizing welfare payouts. Well, we know how this works because we had a perfect example. Ilhan Omar had a Somali religious marriage to whoever her husband was that she has kids with. And then she was legally married to her brother so that he could get citizenship and come and go to school here. And then he had to didn't get divorced from him to marry the white guy who they stole $30 million with that they got in some account or some shade. I don't know if stole is the right word, but somehow shadily they got $30 million all of a sudden. Yeah, they keep it all in the family. Yeah, that's right. Edith, get me the Earl. And you can never leave, especially when they lock it down. Yeah, that's the thing is they want to be able to control your movement so they can keep you there. You can't leave. And that's when I go to the door and lock it and go, now you can't leave. Name that movie. If you have 2 or 3 wives you don't claim, these women can go to work at Walmart full-time for $15 an hour and still qualify for food stamps as long as they have a couple kids. But yeah, especially if these wives are also their sisters, like keep it in the family. And that way, you could say they're your dependents. The journalist referenced Minnesota, where 88% of the Somali community is reportedly on social services. That's right, 88%. They were welded in China. That's right. They welded the door shut. Remember that? Wow. Somali community is reportedly on social service, 88% on social service, suggesting the fraud in Columbus could be equally pervasive. No, then she remarried her first husband, then divorced him for this current husband. Well, her first husband and her were always married in the church. It was always religious. It wasn't illegal. They were married in they didn't get a marriage license and didn't go, file a birth certificate or marriage certificate with the government or anything like that, with the state. They had a religious, ceremony, and they were still married religiously as far as what paperwork I've seen. That was never annulled or anything. And they were still together and everything, even while she was married to her brother. Why did they all look related? Yeah. The follow-up investigation builds on an early report by Columbus resident Nakia Dion, who first brought attention to a similar scam in a video shared on X. She married him twice. I think only once, though, legally, like an actual legal government marriage. Once, I think. That's why she didn't divorce him to marry her brother. She was married to her husband in a religious ceremony and then married her brother in a legal ceremony, but not religious. It's weird. It's a whole weird situation. Kind of feel bad for the Chinese people. Not all of them, but the good ones surely are living through some kind of hellish torture. Yeah. J-Man, truth seeker. Yeah, I believe you. I think there's, yeah. Muslim only have to say, I divorce you 3 times religiously. Oh, okay. Wow. So did he say it 3 times? Dion describes Somali men owning businesses like markets with their wives using EBT cards exclusively at those stores, leading to a massive fraud through hidden polygamous marriages and money laundering. Columbus, Ohio residents explain Somali fraud operations happening in her city and welfare scams. She says that Muslim Somali men have multiple wives. The men can own a business like a market. Then the wives sign up for EBT and spend only at the husband's store. She says more. Oh, well, they're probably going to call her racist.
Come see Columbus, Ohio, fraud investigators. If you go to the government-assisted housing areas, you will find that most of the housing is Somalians. I would say about 80% of the government-assisted housing in Columbus is occupied by Somalians. And the parking lot is occupied with a whole bunch of brand new cars. And the women walking around have designer purses with EBT cards, and they have Apple iPhones stuck up in their hijabs. Yeah. And then go to the businesses that are owned by the men. Because see, what happens is when you have a restaurant or when you have a little corner store and you have a couple of wives and you only have to claim one, then that means the other wives get EBT cards, and you can use those EBT cards to buy food for your store or your restaurant. Yeah. Or what you can do is you can get a home health aid company. And then you only hire Somalians to work the home health aid. And what you do is you just make sure their paperwork looks right. It don't have to be right, but you just make sure it looks right. And then you send them off for those home health aid jobs. Y'all don't want to talk about fraud.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Weaponized immigration, just like feminisms and BLM extremes. Then we say we tried. Weird. Yeah. Any way to sue the government for misrepresenting what tax dollars are actually going to pay? I don't know. I hope so. I mean, if there is, I'll sign me up. I'll throw some dollars at it. Do they have to say it in the dark 3 times? I don't know. She's awesome. Yeah, she's pretty good. In front of a mirror. Yeah. It's like if they say Candyman 3 times, he appears. Candyman. I'm not saying it again. Extremes, then we say we tried. Weird. I don't know. How oligarch troll us. Okay. Jobs which are never performed. Yeah, they don't actually perform the job. So journalist credits Dion saying that Kia was absolutely right and expands on her claims visiting sites like the Walmart on Georgesville Road, where he observed many Somali women working low-wage jobs while qualifying for benefits. The EBT fraud revelations in line with other reports of welfare abuse in Ohio's Somali community, the second largest in the U.S. Don't laugh. I'm not laughing. What are you talking about? Oh, don't say it. Oh, don't say it. Okay, it's not. Don't laugh. Don't. You're laughing in your hearts. I get it now. Don't say it, Candyman. Now he's gonna get me. The EBT fraud revelation aligns with other reports of welfare abuse in Ohio's Somali community, the second largest in the U.S. Ohio attorney Mehek Cook has blown the whistle on a separate but related Medicaid fraud scheme, claiming millions in taxpayer dollars are being stolen through loopholes involving fake medical conditions and coerced providers. Cook told Fox News that the fraud in Ohio dates back over a decade and is more extensive than Minnesota's scandals, calling Minnesota just the tip of the spear. See, now, is that racist to call it the tip of the spear instead of the tip of the iceberg? Because, I mean, I guess you wouldn't say tip of the if you said it was tip of the spear for people from Africa to say spears. And I mean, are they throwing those spears? Are they chucking them? That seems pretty bold to say, like tip of the spear, when generally you would say tip of the iceberg, but I guess ice is white, so they don't want to use white because of white supremacy. Love how the Somalis say Minnesota was nothing until they immigrated. First established tax exempt, tax deduction charities, then milk it till systemic fraud. Yeah, I know. Who cares? I care that they're stealing all our tax dollars. I care that, I mean, we are rapidly approaching $40 trillion in debt. And I would say if we look at it, it's probably all they leading the way, tip of the spear. Yeah. They're chucking their way to this front. In Minnesota, federal prosecutors have charged dozens in a $250 million COVID-19 fraud scheme, which funds allegedly funneled to smelly groups. They really don't see the Somalis as oligarchs. No. No. Who cares on tip of the spears or tip of the iceberg? I was trying to be wingnut. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to make jokes while I'm telling the news, make people laugh a little bit, make, like poorly educated people mix up sayings. I mean, a lot of times they say the term tip of the spear is generally speaking, like when you're in an attack of something, like if it's like like the leading force, like the Rangers or like our special forces are the tip of the spear of the United States for like to go in. But with something like this, when you're uncovering fraud, it's like you can't see it. So that's more like the tip of the iceberg because there's so much hidden behind it. Unless they're saying the Somalis are here to take us over and they're the tip of the spear to take us over of the invading army. There's the difference there. Can I leave my 15-minute city and travel around? No. I hate being seen as an easy mark for grifters. Yeah. No way you think anybody calling Somalis oligarchy. Somalis like Haiti. Get it? Well, maybe that's a good way to fix Haiti. If you send the Somalis there, they can fight it out with barbecue and the rest of them. The journalist in the video, whose identity remains unconfirmed but appears to be an independent investigator, plans further probes, stating, "I'm changing tactics, going back up money, and I have a couple ideas to see if I can sniff of you more." Either way, we are getting the tip up your butt. So we are being robbed. Oh, so they're playing a game with us. Just the tip? Just a little? I don't like that game. I don't like that game, Uncle Paulie. Barbecue Pirates. Yeah. Gallup just named this senior Trump official as America's most popular politician. All right, let's see. Can anybody in the chat guess which Trump official is the most popular politician in the country, according to Gallup? Quick, without Googling it. I'm going to read this story. I'm going to tell you that I think this is a ploy. No, not RFK. Helen Keller. No. She's a real pinball wizard, though. Not Bondi. Nope, not J.D. Vance. Nope, not Stephen Miller. Nope, not J.D. Vance. Not RFK. Not Holman. No. I'm going to tell you right now who it is. All right. Marco Rubio. That's right. Marco Rubio. This is, like, I'm not saying Marco Rubio is not popular, but this is, it's Greta. You're right. Most attractive female, whoever that is. Ooh, that's a rough one. Like, I don't know. I guess the new press secretary, like, I like the old one. Sally Wilds, or what's her name? Yeah, no. This is the mainstream, the establishment trying to drive a wedge, like stick a wedge in there, pry a wedge in between Marco Rubio and JD Vance. That's what this is. Because Marco Rubio already said, I am not. That's right, Rubio. Rubio is pro deep state and war. Yeah. Not Narco Marco. Yes, Narco Marco. But Narco Marco already said that he is not. They're setting up Marco for 2028. They're trying to. That's who they want. That's who the establishment wants. The establishment wanted Marco in 2016. Remember? But to Marco's credit, so far he's claimed that he is not running, that he would never run against JD Vance. That's what he said. Marco is the best looking. He's got big ears, though. Americans have a favorite politician, and he belongs to the Trump administration. According to a recent Gallup survey, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is considered the most popular politician in the United States. I hope he will not try to run, and we don't need anyone to split the vote. Yeah. Marco never talked about the deep state before Trump. Yeah. Like, I would not be opposed to Marco being J.D. Vance's vice president. I don't know how that would work, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. Just saying. Maybe that's their plan. Maybe Marco Rubio would be the Gerald Ford. And they would Nixon J.D. Vance to get Rubio in there. Wow. Oh, look at this. Spuds for a gifted membership over there on the YouTubes. And it says, Forging Freedom TV received a gifted membership from Spuds. Thank you so much, Spuds, for that. $6 for that gifted membership. That means we are now $34 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you so much. You guys are the greatest audience, fans, whatever. JD and Rubio as VP. I would say, yeah, thank you, Spuds. Why should he run the State Department why should he run the State Department? It's its own fiefdom. Well, the State Department is its own fiefdom. He's doing a great job. He actually is. I think he's doing Marco, like John McCain, just saying, oh yeah, him and John McCain were really, JD would spend 4 years looking over his shoulder. Yeah, so much pointless speculation. I know. But these are just numbers. JD Vance will get the nomination no matter what Democrats want. They can make it messy, though. So, yeah, according to a recent Gallup survey, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is considered not the most popular. See, these guys are not the most popular Republican, the most popular politician in the United States of any party. So, Marco Rubio is the most popular politician of anybody. Okay, any persuasion. Yet, given the low numbers at hand, it's not such a significant achievement. Gallup found that politicians from both the Republican and Democrat parties are widely unpopular, although Rubio comes up on top. Before Trump came down the escalator, I seriously considered Marco. However, I thought he was a bit young to run for president. I think he's in his 50s now. I think he's in his 50s now. I was a big Ben Carson supporter simply because I thought he was the smartest man that was running for president. I really did. I was like, this guy's a friggin' brain surgeon. He can figure out a way to fix this. But just it wasn't to be. Around 41% of Americans have a positive view of Rubio, who has served as Trump's Secretary of State since January and also his national security advisor. The only figure more popular than Rubio is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, although he's not technically a politician. Oh, wow. So how could Jerome Powell be the most popular? So Jerome Powell, the guy who's kept interest rates high, saying he's the most popular? Isn't that just odd? It's weird. Why would they want Rubio? You need to ask that question and use your head. Yeah, definitely. Doesn't Jasmine Crockett think she's the most popular? And now Spuds for another 2 says, Marco found his productivity niche. He should stay. That's right. Thank you so much. And with that, we are now $32 away from a first additional hour. Hey, Doc's here. What's up, Doc? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Woodtick Mike's here. Hey, what's going on? Beware of big ears. Remember, all the better you hear. All the better to hear you. That's right. How to listen to us through the Patriot Act spine. Lady Bomba's here. Hey, what's up, Lady Bomba? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Gallup has more details. A steady 30. Did I change that? Yeah, I did change that. A steady 36% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's job performance, including 89% of Republicans and 25% of independents, 3% of Democrats. The president's approval rating is unchanged from last month. So this is the Gallup poll. So they're saying Trump only has a 36% approval rating. The blob is doing what it does. Yeah, I like Ben Carson as well, but I thought he was too nice of a guy to be president. Maybe. You know what? Probably. You're probably right. He was too nice of a guy. Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood. I know. That's why I have such big teeth. All the better to eat you with, my dear. So when it fell to the lowest in the second term, just barely above 34%, none of the 12 other U.S. leaders from Congress, the cabinet, or Supreme Court earned a majority level approval either. Just 2 Federal Reserve Chairman and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are above 40%. Meanwhile, Republican leader John Thune and Chuck Schumer is 34-28. Ratings range from 35 to 39 for 8 others, including Mike Johnson, Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, Hakeem, The Dream, Jeffries, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, and J.D. Vance. Saw the memes of Marco on the couch with his arms folded with the upset look about him, and also become the acting Minnesota governor. Yeah, conservatives usually don't answer polls. That's right. In addition to all his other duties. Yeah. Majority of Republicans approve of all Republican leaders on the list, but not Powell or the 2 congressional Democrats. A majority of Democrats approve only one of the 2 Democrat leaders rated, Jeffries, while less than half approve of Powell. Notably, just 39% of Democrats approve of the job Schumer's doing, while 56% disapprove. Mm-hmm. Stephanie says, if they would just do anything to meet people where we are, grocery prices are still astronomically high. Everyday living costs haven't come down. I don't know. Here's the thing, Stephanie. I don't know how much they can come down. The thing is, wages have to go up. People are going to have to start getting more money. They're going to have to start raising wages. I heard that the Social Security increase is only like 3% this year, which seems way low to me. Way low for the way everything's gone. Like, what are they tracking that it's only 3%? Prices will not go down. Now, prices are not going to go down because certain things have already raised the costs that they can't take back. You know what I mean? The only way costs can come down is for more efficiency. And there's so many things in line that are making things less efficient. Yeah. Gallup probably thinks Fauci is still the science. Ted Cruz has ups and downs, but I think he's a fantastic constitutionalist. Yeah, those on fixed incomes are in deep trouble. Yes, they are. Deep trouble. My parents' Social Security actually went down this year. Have to try to figure out why. I didn't think it's ever supposed to go down. You're going to have to definitely look into that, Doc. It should never go down. We'd have to have a depression for prices to go down. The sad thing is that prices aren't going to. Okay. The 3% is taken by the increase in Medicare payments. Yeah, that might be it, Doc. That might be why the money they're coming in goes down, is because the increase in the medical costs actually were more than what the increase was. You understand? Like the increase was a certain amount, and then the certain percentage, and then the depending, like your. From what I don't think Medicare payments are a percentage of your Social Security. I think it's a fixed number. So if you're only getting $1,000 a month from Social Security, and Medicare went up, by $100, and they only gave you a 3% increase on your Social Security, that would be a $30 increase on the Social Security, and you went up 100, so you're going to lose $70, even though it's weird. Yeah, Medicare is such a joke. Yeah. But we're supposed to get an extra 1,000, 2,000 extra in tax refunds this spring. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard a lot of conflicting information about all the stuff. I've even heard some people claiming that the whole thing, like Barnes was claiming that the whole thing they did with the taxes about the no tax on tips, he says it's all bullshit. So I don't know. Blue states are actively making price go up, especially utilities to pay for failing green projects being subsidized by Joe Tato head. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like they said, you get 40 more each month next year. Well, good for you. It's not going to cover what the increase is, though. That's the problem, Pat. It's not. But they keep saying how it's going to, all this green energy shit was going to save us money. Remember, your costs are going to go down. But then why is it that anytime they do this stuff, costs increase? Anytime they start making changes, costs increase. You make do? Well, we all making do. New poll finds Secretary of State Rubio and J.D. Vance as the two most popular political leaders in the U.S. Oh, so look at that. So the two most popular are Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance. Wow.
The Senate Minority Leader falling behind Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Hakeem Jeffries, Mike Johnson, and John Thune. Fox News contributor Bill McGurn joins us now to react. Bill, the old saying is in Washington is, if you want a friend, get a dog. I don't know if Chuck Schumer has a dog.
I don't think Chuck Schumer has a dog. Rubio was reported to be Trump's runner-up in the race to become his vice presidential nominee and is widely expected to be a leading presidential candidate. See, that's what this is all about. However, he recently indicated he would step aside to clear the way for J.D. Vance if the vice president decided to run. No Jasmine Crockett, no Slavy Crockett. However, he recently indicated he would step. There was also strong suggestions that Rubio may serve as Vance's running mate, making a future presidential run all the more likely. Chuck would probably eat a dog. Have you seen Schumer's wife? You mean his husband? I'm pretty sure that's a dude. That's a man, baby. Along with small children. Yeah, probably. If New York City goes purple, Hakeem is finished and he knows it. Yeah. Hey, beautiful cat. What's up? 2023. Good evening. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Please remember, hit the like and subscribe. We've been going an hour and 10 minutes. Please remember, if you haven't already, like the video. Please share it among your friends. Let them know that this is where you come to get all your prescient news stories with the beautiful dulcet tones of Jim Tells You. And then I will keep going. All right. And like, subscribe, follow on all the social medias. And there is a goal tonight, if I haven't reminded you enough, because I don't think I said it at all. For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, super chats on YouTube, Rumble rants on Rumble, gifted memberships or becoming a member on both YouTube and Rumble, or gifting subs on Twitch and Kick, And then also pinned in the chat, and there's QR codes on the screen, are PayPal and Cash App. For every $100 in total that comes in, we add an extra hour to the show. And then at the first 50, Bella Vision got activated already by the first individual $25 donation, but that's besides the point. But like I said, the show is here for you, and it stays on as long as you, the fans, want it to be on. Finally, the Department of Education ends $1 billion in student aid fraud, promises more action. $1 billion with a B. Now, I'm old enough to remember when the federal government's deficits were in the billions of dollars. Yes. And people were going crazy. That, oh my God, we have a $5 billion deficit. That was called the 1980s. Not that long ago. There was billion-dollar deficits. Now we have trillion-dollar deficits. Hopefully Goldman loses his primary. The other guy's a leftist, but Goldman is such a lying turd. We aren't broke. It's all fraud. Well, that's what I'm starting to think. Seriously, Doc, I think it's a lot of fraud. A lot of fraud. That doesn't mean we still don't owe the money, though. That's the problem. However, Chuck wouldn't know how to turn on the grill. You remember that when he posted the pictures of the grill that wasn't turned on and the raw hamburgers putting cheese on them? My COLA increase in 2026 is $33. However, the increase in my utilities across the board will be approximately $53. Yeah. I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how they figured the COLA. I really don't. Chuck has a yellow Labrador retriever named Spinny. We are broke if the money is gone. Yeah. So the U.S. Department of Education has reported to end more than $1 billion in attempted student aid fraud in 2025. So just in 2025 alone, $1 billion. These reforms were needed after massive waste and fraud resulting from loosened rules under the sleepy Joe Biden auto pen presidency. Federal investigators found nearly $90 million in aid had already been fraudulently dispersed, including over $30 million to deceased individuals and more than $40 million to bots posing as students. It goes by inflation. But yeah, but see, that's what I don't understand. Inflation was really high all year long, and then all of a sudden inflation drops. Like, oh, we're going to give you the lowest inflation it was. Like, shouldn't it be like the average or something? Or, and that shouldn't be the average. It should be like, okay, well, if it was 6% in January, 8% in February, 9%. I mean, this is going up, and then just because it dropped to 3%, okay, it's 3%. I don't get it. I don't get it. We need to get unburdened. Yeah. I just paid $116 for electricity in Southern California for a 2-bedroom, not running heat or AC. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to tell you. Are we talking Coca, Pepsi, or RC Cola? I'm an RC guy. Oh, Cola. Okay. Now I get it. No. Royal Crown, to me, is a little too sugary. But I liked it when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, it's too sugary for me. With all the money DC throws around, you'd think they try to buy some votes by increasing the Social Security money. Well, I think in 2022, I got an 8% increase. Yeah, there was a huge increase, I think, back in 22, 23. Anyway, but I would have thought it would still be at least 5 or 6% this year. It's got to catch up. You got to catch them up. That's a lot of fraud, but it's hardly surprising. Under demon rats, fraud and waste are rampant, as we've learned in the era of Doge. You grew up on RC? Yeah. Oh, man, I found a fountain RC once. It was heavenly. Fountain Cokes taste like crap now. So much cost cutting at their formula. Yeah. They're the only place that you can still get a decent Coke is McDonald's. It's not as good as it used to be because I think they've tweaked it down, but McDonald's used to have like a really tweaked up syrup mixture. Like their mix was really high, and that's why. And then they used like extra carbonated water. Like McDonald's uses like a super carbonated water, like not normal carbonate. Like they add like double carbonation to their water to make it more bubbly and everything. And you're paying all these programs. Check your system benefit charges. Yeah, that's right. 132 watching, only 72 likes. Yeah, what's up with that? Check system benefits. I don't know. It's the paper straws that are ruining the McDonald's Cokes. We don't have paper straws here in Florida. I mean, the Coke made in Mexico is the best. Yes, in the glass. See, that's the thing. They need to go back to glass bottles. All right, because like I was drinking out of cans for the longest time because I don't like drinking out of plastic. I don't like buying anything in plastic bottles because if you've noticed, they go flat. Plastic bottles do not hold in the carbonation. If you let it sit there, like they had to, that's the reason they had to put expiration dates on the sodas is because plastic bottles, after that expiration date, they're no longer carbonated. They lost all their carbonation because they're not airtight. There's still air leaking out of the plastic. But yeah, so I was drinking cans too because they seem to last better. But then I found out that the cans are lined with plastic. Yeah, the cans have plastic. And I said, what? So now I try to mainly mainly drink. If I get Coke, I go to like Sam's Club, and then they have the cases of the Mexican Coke that you can buy there, and it's in glass bottles. But I don't know. It's expensive. It's not cheap. It's over $1. It's like $1 something a bottle. But man, does it taste so good. Coca-Cola, the glass bottles that's manufactured in Mexico has real cane sugar. Yeah, real cane sugar. Yeah, microplastics are yummy. Grow your own Coke. I wish. Go to the Mexican aisle. Yeah. There's a Thai restaurant in Cape Coral that serves Coke in 20-ounce glass bottles from Mexico. Great food. Really? In 20-ounce bottles? Kosher Coke is the best. You can only get it at Christmas. I hate cans because it gets flatter quicker than a plastic bottle. You're saying once it's opened? But no, I'm saying, like, here's the thing, Unknown Man. If a plastic bottle will go flat before it's opened, like it's not, go to your plastic bottle, all right, and twist it to tighten it. It will get tighter on there. Like it's not tightened all the way. Air leaks out of it. The carbonation leaks out. I've had bottles of soda that you'll crack open and it's flat. If we keep going at this rate, we will all be Barbies. I don't know what that means. We buy those too, and in fact, one blew up today and the refrigerator exploded all in the back of frozen soda and glass everywhere. Oh God. Thai 99 on Pine Island Road. All right, I'll check that out. We're already paying $1.20 on every gallon of gas in the state of California. It's increasing another 60 cents. Yeah, maybe that Mexican Coca-Cola has the original recipe, if you know what I mean. I wish we could get some with the. I wish we could get some with the original recipe. I would definitely drink it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I hate cans. I just feel like it's a waste of money. That's why I use plastic bottles. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper in a can at this very moment. Well, if you put Dr. Pepper in your can, that's pretty big, dude. The Mexican food aisle at our local Walmart has several different flavors of soda, including Coke and glass bottles. That's awesome. If we keep ingesting plastic, yeah, I know we can't. Yeah. When drinking from 2-liter bottles, squeeze the air out to keep the carbonation. Okay. We buy this too. In fact, exploded just tonight in the back of the fridge. They are the best. Yeah. I do not buy bottled water or canned products lined in plastic. They're Barbie. Okay, plastic people. I get it now. Now I get it. I think they're putting, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're putting a plastic coating on all cans now, like even the cans like canned foods. I think that's why it lasts longer. You used to get I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Common sense has returned. Doritos brand in the glass bottles is good. 7-Up's original recipe included lithium. Wow. From day one, the Trump administration has been committed to rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse across the federal government. She said, Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night. Did someone yell squirrel? Seems like it, right? As President Trump has emphasized many times, his policies are common sense, and we are the party of common sense. The Department of Education has also launched a website warning about AI scams posing as legitimate colleges that fool prospective students. These AI fake sites use fake degrees and deep fake content to mislead students. Now that we have a real president, a White House department is building a dedicated fraud detection team within the federal student aid to expand enforcement. Aluminum is really bad for you. Okay. Is it? The new unit would help protect students from these fake college scams. I just try to, I understand, Pat, but I try to, if I see a comment in the chat and I try to engage with the chat, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure at some point it'll get where I can't because there'll be too many people talking. I won't be able to do it. It'll just totally derail the show. But are we already there? Maybe. Maybe we're already there. While more work is needed, it's refreshing that common sense is back and the administration is doing a lot more work to protect students from these scams. And speaking of scams in colleges, this story, we talked about this before. There was a student at Boston University who kept reporting illegal aliens working. And so he's been getting some death threats. Oh, okay. Eclectic Deb for 5. It's kind of you to read so many chat comments. Thanks. Well, I try, cola nuance is important and more fun than news. Plastic coating in cans is nothing new. It's the 1930s. It's gone back to the 1930s. Seriously? I heard we are eating, drinking, and breathing a credit card worth of plastic per month. Well, I think that's, but anyway, so thank you so much for the 5. And with that, we are now $5 closer. That means we are $27 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you so much, Miss Eclectic Deb. There's no ghetto on Jim's channel. No, I talk to everybody. Indeed, yes. Maybe Jim needs some of that Mexican Coca-Cola to help his hangover. I'm drinking a Red Bull, which I was trying to. I'm trying to get away from Red Bull because, guess why all the nerve diseases? Well, I was thinking that's why we're having. I was thinking that's why we 27. That's why I said we're 27. I didn't fix it. Yeah, we're 27 away. I didn't. I think that's why we're having all the problems with the low testosterone and stuff from the plastics. Maybe if it's not the plastics, maybe it's the hormones and stuff they're putting in the beef, and it could be the dementia too. Yeah. And then Terminator says, "What other YouTuber reads comments like Jim?" I just try to engage with you guys. I enjoy talking to all of you. I feel like we're having conversations. I like having conversations with people. I originally tried to start this show to be a show where I would have people come on all the time. We would talk about the news, but I couldn't get people to be reliable, that wanted to be on all the time. I had different people that would come on once or twice and then they wouldn't show. And, I don't know. Some people would come on and then just didn't want to talk about the news. They just wanted to talk about other stuff. And I was like, that's not really what the show's about. We're talking about news. So about your parents' Social Security check being less, did they receive overpayments? The Fed is clawing back any overpayment. Oh, well, that could be it, Sue. Yeah. Sue Zarnowski. That could be it if they had overpayments. But they would have to send you a letter. They would have to send you a letter telling you what the overpayment was. And if it's a certain amount, over a certain amount, they would have to set up kind of a repayment plan. I'm pretty sure. And Sunshine says, no one, Trumpinator. Yeah, no one's like Jim. And it says aluminium affects bones, osteoporosis, the nervous system, brain function, and possibly linked to certain conditions like Alzheimer's. Although the Alzheimer link is debated, it's debated. Yeah. I think a lot of people's not. The Alzheimer's increase is probably a statin related. Our brains are mostly made up of cholesterol. And so if you're taking drugs that are altering your cholesterol makeup of your body, instead of just changing your diet, I think the statins might be affecting the brains. And that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying, I'm not telling anybody not to take a statin or anything like that. I'm just saying, I think if you look at the increase in Alzheimer's that's happened, there's a correlation to when these drugs started being used. That's all. And I'm not saying correlation equals causation. I'm just saying, maybe it's a multitude of things. I recently replaced all the plastic food containers with mason jars. Yeah, I went with Pyrex, which still has plastic lids, but it doesn't touch the food. So Pyrex bowls and containers, glass. And then, that's actually a lot easier when you're going to microwave it too. Like, never microwave anything in plastic. Never. Because what happens is when you hit a plastic bottle or a plastic bowl with the microwaves, it actually releases the plastic into the food. Yeah, dementia, Alzheimer's, yeah. I'm drinking a Monster right now. A Monster. I think it's all the Medicare premiums. I'll help my mom track it down tomorrow. From Aluminium. Okay. 17 victims, 1 dead. California highway accident. A semi truck drove into 9 stopped vehicles during a traffic break for a crash up earlier. Oh my God, around 5 a.m. Oh, uh, mm. Do we think it's illegal alien related, SB Farmer? Did they say anything about the driver? Is it another one of their Indian Patel, or not Patel, but the Singh? Low birth rates for microplastics. I am reliable. I am reliable as well. Oh, you guys want to come on? The lining in the canned cat food is causing thyroid issues in cats. I had a cat die of thyroid issues, actually. I wonder if it's an illegal driver. Did anyone get gifted from Spuds? I'm not seeing it. I believe it was the gift from Spuds was what's his name? Dr. Meganauts got it. Dr. Meganauts got it. It's Dr. Meganauts got it. Neuro Dr. Megawatts got it. Meganauts got it. How do we get started talking about this? Yeah, still floating. No, Dr. Meganauts got it. It's I can show you. Hold on. Oh, where'd it go, man? Oh man, I lost it. Where'd it go? I saw it. There it is. Dr. Meganauts was gifted a membership by Spuds. So Spuds gave away a membership on Rumble and on YouTube tonight. The brain needs cholesterol to function properly. Yeah. Pyrex cooking. Yeah. Interesting. I haven't heard that about statins. I'm not. That's me, my thinking. I'm not a doctor, and I'm just saying. It's like I think there's a relation. If you look at the timing of when they started prescribing those drugs to people, and the increase in, they started prescribing those drugs to people's in their 50s and 60s, and then those people started getting Alzheimer's. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's causing it though. It's worth finding aluminum-free deodorant. I don't feel better. Feel a lot better since I did. Yeah, I've been using Right Guard spray my whole life. It has no aluminum in it. It never has. So it's just deodorant. I don't use antiperspirant because that's where the aluminum is, the antiperspirant. Deodorant, it's the. I really don't think too much about all the food impurities. I'd probably starve if I did, but I always bless my food. Well, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I don't know how much people it affects. But I eat aluminum. It's never dropped me yet. Coke was moved to plastic bottles around 1975. Well, no, I mean, they started putting like plastic 2 liters and stuff like that when in the 70s, they started moving, but they were still using glass bottles like all the way through the 80s. And then they had recyclable bottles and they were great. We only really need a few dozen meds if we cared about fixing medicine. This is the Stringer post. He does not say. Okay, what? I don't know what that is. Styrofoam is even more toxic than plastic. Yeah, remember we used to drink styrofoam out of styrofoam cups all the time. Oh God. Ugh. Oh, the string. Okay. So this is, let me do this before we get into the story. This is a story about the highway. 17 victims, 1 dead following California highway accident. A semi-truck drove into 9 stopped vehicles during a traffic break for a crash up early this morning at 5 a.m. 17 victims injured on the scene, 1 person DOA. I-5 South at East 4th Street. The semi was carrying a 25,000-pound load, which significantly impacted the crash. Well, yeah, that's how it works. Authorities have not publicly released identity of the semi-truck driver. Likely white. Okay. Bella moved. She did. Let me fix it. Mm-hmm. You guys know she's not as active. Was he wearing flip-flops? That's the easiest thing. Was he wearing semi-crash? Probably illegal. Better check. I refuse to microwave with that cling wrap shit. Don't trust it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that either. What I do, and I know it's probably not a good idea, is I use like a glass bowl and I just put a paper plate upside down on top of it or whatever, a paper plate on top of it that and that way, I don't know if that's any better, but your memory's fine. It looks at hell. Looks like hell on the highway. Cars are made of nothing substantial. They don't protect anyone. Well, yeah, because they did. It's way too convenient. You don't know about the statins? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying the statins affect your. Never mind. I don't want. I'm gonna end up getting a warning on the video. You see it now? Thanks. Okay. I still use styrofoam cups. They work great. Yeah, keeping things cold, but they don't. As far as the chemicals in them, that's what I use. A paper plate on a glass bowl. Yeah. No because you don't want it to splatter. Like I know people that put like they have a plastic like thing that you put over the top, but then it's just making plastic get released. In my opinion, I don't know. I witnessed it in my rearview mirror. I was up ahead capturing the other crash. And I saw a giant fireball of flames behind me, which was from this collision. I reversed back with the CHP, and this is what occurred about 30 seconds after the crash. LAFD was already on the scene trying to respond to the crash up ahead, but we're stuck in back to watch traffic, and this incident occurred right in the middle of them. Oh, wow. This is going to be bad. It's all cremic is pure. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to be a warning, I guess. There's a crash.
Kenny, on it. Let's get out of the way. Got it?
I want to go back. I want to look for some telltale signs on the truck. Yeah. I want to go back and look at the truck. Is this the truck? Is this the truck right here? Do you see anything hanging or anything that says anything? I mean, I don't see anything obvious inside the truck. It looks like the driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt or something because it looks like if you look where the driver's looks like his head hit the windshield there. Right? That big impress isn't that the person's body hitting the windshield? So he wasn't buckled in. Maybe he was cooking. But an illegal did this. We're not sure yet. Oh my God. 22 seconds on ceramic for a runny egg. Airbag hit the windshield. Oh, okay. All right. head would be a lot smaller. Okay. I thought maybe it was his body. Like, anyway. But yeah, like I cook airbag. Okay, airbag. All right. I cook scrambled eggs in the microwave. You can make like an omelet in the microwave. Super. I mean, it's cheating and it's not the greatest, honestly. It's not the same. But if you're in a pinch, you just scramble up an egg and you put it in a glass bowl. You just put it on, cook in the microwave like 30 seconds and it just puffs up. It goes burp and blows up and it's done. You just put some cheese on it, melt it. You got an omelet. It's not the best, but it works in a pinch. Especially, here's the trick too. If you're making like bagels or English muffins, and you got a bowl that has that the bottom of the bowl is that circle. It's going to make that circle. It's going to make it perfect. Yeah, it puffs up like a souffle when you're cooking the egg in a microwave, exactly like a souffle. But you're not worried about radiation. There is no radiation that comes from the microwave. You never use the microwave. It's just radio waves. And it's the same thing as a radar. That's it. Like they originally were called Nephilim says 100% on the statins and plastics. Well, thank you. It's refreshing that you're interactive with the chat. Thank you. Well, I try, but it makes the perfect circle to put on a sandwich. The perfect circle. But salt the plate after you butter it. I never used a microwave. Original microwaves were called radar ranges, because it's just radar waves. That's all it is. And it was discovered because there was I believe it was on a Navy ship. I think it was on a Navy ship that there was a pinhole in the waveguide, which is where the signals travel to go out. And the hole cooked something or melted a can, did something, and they said, "Hey, this is basically does it." The Amana radar range was a freaking tank. Richard says, not the airbag. They don't break windows, and they are mounted to the steering wheel. Look like damage from outside the vehicle. Okay, maybe. I just don't like using the thing. I'm old school. I don't like cooking in it. Like I'll warm something up in it, maybe. H20 molecule. Yeah, it heats up the liquid. A wavelength the size of an H20 wavelength in length. Yeah, I think the microwave radiation myth was dispelled long ago, just like hair growing on your palms. Wait, you can get hair on your palms? Hairy palms? Let's see. Let's see what's in this. Here we go. Hold on. This is they have the video of him actually.
अरे सुन तो सही, इस बार अगर टाइम से पैसा नहीं भेजा ना मैं घर ही नहीं आऊंगा, समझे? हाँ मैं गाड़ी चला रहा हूँ. अरे भाई सुन रहे हो ना? हाँ उल्टा वायर जोड़ के आप बोलो. हाँ 2 मिनट में तैयार हो जाएगा. अरे यार तू बस सुन, मैं बोल रहा हूँ फालतू में मोल-तोल मत कर. यहाँ फोन रख, मूवी चालू है यहाँ. हाँ देख रहा हूँ, तू चिंता मत कर. हाँ बकरा भी खा रहा है, खिड़की खोल दूं क्या? किलो दे देना, वरना पूरी पार्टी बिगड़ जाएगी.
Oh my God.
अरे सुन रहे हो ना? हाँ वही फाइल भेजी पर सर्वर डाउन है. मैं बार-बार बोल रहा हूँ ऑफिस की मेल चेक करो, सब अटका पड़ा है. हाँ मैं कर रहा हूँ यहाँ से, तुम लोग वहाँ.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. No valid license, insurance, or name. Yeah. Big rig drivers used to be the safest people on the road. Incidents like this are exceedingly rare. Now they seem to be weekly occurrences. Why do governors like Newsom hate their citizens so much? Well, all right. I think it was Romania or something. Okay. Did anyone see these videos of government using microwaves to clear the streets from protesters? Oof. That will work, Hamburger Helper. That will work. The problem is, though, that you could kill people with it. It could actually cook them from the inside. I heard about the melted chocolate bar in the guy's pocket. Yeah, that's the rumor. Like, I don't know if it's 100% true or not about that. That's how the guy had a chocolate bar, melted the chocolate bar in his pocket or something like that. I'm surprised it could burn you, because it can. Like, you could actually get burnt from a microwave. It'll cook you from the inside out, they say. It'll make the babies be born naked. Yeah. Lab technician left the candy bar inside the radar while testing and realized the heat generation. That's what I heard about, something like that. Got to even this out. Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, we are now 25 doll hairs away from the first additional hour of the show. And it's a really good show. Thank you for the show. Hair on your palms. What are you microwaving? The hair thing is not true. Thank you, Spuds. That's how I triangulate. You got to triangulate. An antenna can cook you. If the people don't like this, vote differently. Yeah, that's what I would say. Vote differently. If Canada is there in Canada, if there's a flip truck, so there are some people with turbans standing there. Oh, well, granola. That's how it is here too. Percy Spencer, whatever that means. Is that the guy's name? Is that the guy's name who discovered it? Uh, EM waves can modulate plant materials. Boy. Well, see, that's the thing too. Like, I don't want to get on a different path, but there's some weird stuff going on with like in the weed speak. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with crop circles. Like I saw these studies that claim that all these like real crop circle things that they have like something happened where something exploded, like almost microwaved it, causing this thing to change or something like that, or some kind of signal, something did it near the antennas. Yeah. Awesome. So American First legal battle. It blasts Boston University for failing to protect a conservative student from leftist death threats after reporting illegals to ICE. This is the guy's picture, I guess. Looks like something hit him in the eye there. Don't step foot in Alston ever again, or I'll get your head sliced and put on a stick, you effing little loser. Pathetic. If I see you, I'm effing KU and leave your DB on the sidewalk. Wow. The plants resonate. Yeah. He worked at Raytheon and Nuke candy bar in his pocket. He worked at Raytheon. He did popcorn and an egg that exploded. Okay. AFL is calling out Boston University for banning one of its own students. The water and the plants resonate. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's like I saw this thing about the crop circles and something to do with the molecule, the water, like the actual molecular or something changes where it's not like broken when they're real crop circles. It's something changes inside of them. Poke holes in a potato. I saw a video of the tech telling a story. Not I heard something. I don't repeat hearsay. Okay. I probably saw something too, Richard, but I don't remember. I've got so much weird stuff rattling around up here. It's hard to keep track of it all. Oh, Bella's barking in her sleep. She's going, ruff, ruff, in her sleep there. So Zach Seagal, who has been hit with credible death threats from radical leftists simply for doing his civic duty and reporting illegal aliens to ICE. Okay, it was Serbia, not Romania. It says sonic weapons. I mean, that's what a heat ray, I think, would be like microwave or something. Seagal is the president of the Boston University College Republicans, spotted suspicious activity at the Alston car wash and tipped off ICE. You failed electromagnetics. Okay. And his action led to the arrest of 9 illegal aliens. After taking credit for the bust in social media, he became a target for online harassment, hot doxing, and violent threats from unhinged activists. Microwave ovens use a magnetron-generated FM waves to agitate moisture into being hot. You are sort of steam heating with a microwave. Yeah. That's as far as I went on the GI Bill. Okay. I've been calling ICE for months on end. This week, they finally responded to my request to detain these criminals. As someone who lives in the neighborhood, I've seen how American jobs are being given away to those with no legal right to be here. Pump up the volume, dance, boom, boom. 9 employees at the car wash in Alston, all of whom had work permits, were detained in a raid by ICE agents. Did they really have work permits? Why were they detained if they had work? I got 74 credits. I didn't need the degree. This is kidnapping, plain and simple. ICE arrests 9 employees at the Alston car wash. Oh, well, yeah, technically, anytime you get arrested by the police, it's kidnapping. They're taking you away against your will. So I guess it's technically kidnapping. According to details provided to Breitbart News, messages included vile statements like, if I ever see you, I'm effing KU and leave your DB on the sidewalk. I'll be waiting outside your little event tonight. Here's to hoping you're the next to get kirked. Wow. Just an example of the threat I received a few weeks ago. It's becoming too common. When will universities take action? Receive threats, please make sure you report them so these scumbags can be held accountable. See this? Don't step foot. Yep. Mm-hmm. A week before Ella Cook, the VP of Brown's College Republicans, was brutally murdered, Turning Point USA chapter leader and Olivet Nazarene was forced to take classes from home after receiving death threats over political beliefs. The message said that someone was, I'm going to find you in Chapman and slit your while you sleep. If you keep posting racist blank like this, please post God and Savior Charlie Kirk one more time. Oh, so posting about Charlie Kirk and God is racist? What? Yeah, work permits don't mean legal citizenship. Yeah, it is disgusting. It's totally disgusting. Yeah. Posters also popped up on campus branding Siegel a racist and a fascist at no place at BU. Rather than stepping up to defend their student, BU essentially told Siegel to hide. Wow. Kind of like and Frank was told to hide in the attic. Dean of Students Jason Campbell Foster, oh, nice, 2 last names, advised him to skip in-person classes and switch to remote learning, admitting the university couldn't guarantee his safety on Boston campus. Wow. Representing Segal America First Legal fired off a letter demanding BU let him transfer to its Washington, D.C. campus to finish his education safely at a cost that does not exceed his attendance at the Boston campus. Boston University must protect its students, not force them into hiding. What about Juice? Yes. I miss Charlie too, man. Yeah. Charlie, I still can't get over it, man. Seeing something like that happen, it's weird. Such a young guy, a young family. There's nothing unlawful about reporting suspected violations of federal law. They contrasted BU's weak response with Olivet Nazarene University, which publicly condemned similar threats against a student and provided real accommodations. BU President Melissa Gilliam responded with a vague statement in the Daily Free Press warning against focusing on skin color or political views to avoid fostering division and pain. Oh, yeah. It's always about that. It's always about diversity. It's always. Yeah. It's always. Yeah. Never will get over it. Yeah. The way I look at it is, they killed the guy who only wanted to talk, so now they get the other guys. Gilliam babbled about affirming their dignity and worth of all people, but said nothing about condemning the threats or outlining any safety plans. Segal defended himself on X. I reported suspicious activity because that is what an American should do. My intention was simple: to protect my community and uphold the rule of law. It says, I didn't see a lot of people talk about CK or quote him until after his murder. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the military-industrial complex has infiltrated Turning Point USA. Yeah. That's the sad part. It is. It was thousands of people at once. Yeah. Oh, people were saying they felt intense burning and had to move. That's why I assumed it was a microwave. Maybe it was. Could powerful enough sound waves heat stuff up? Maybe. Yeah, I love this country, and everything I did came from that place, pointing out to DHS that illegal aliens are arrested and millions of unemployed Americans could use those jobs. The Democrats are willing to off people, but not the Republicans. Yeah. Could be the cosmic rays. Could be. AFL's letter cites Massachusetts law requiring universities to prevent foreseeable injuries, and BU's own policies obligated them to protect students. They've given BU a deadline to confirm accommodations or potential legal action. So they're just threatening another lawsuit. That's just great. It's all energy. Yeah. All right. And then I saw this story. We were talking the other day about some election fraud stuff. So it said, could Republicans gain a U.S. House seat because of Texas Democrat fraud? Democrats for election fraud? No. Really? Democrats and election fraud? Really? Is there like a history of that? Well, gee, Jim, I don't know. What happened back in 60? 1960? All the way back then? Yeah, it's the most prominent example if you look at what happened where Illinois was the battleground, swing state. All the dead voted for JFK, thanks to the mafia. So I guess here's a picture of some guy cheating on the elections. That they caught this guy. Webb County Election Office CCTV footage, video required by law to be publicly accessible, shows official ballots blank but official being shredded. Historically, South Texas has been shaped by entrenched political machines. Most notably, was one built by Lyndon Baines Johnson. That's right. Yeah. Chicago, vote early, vote often was a common joke when I was a kid in the 70s. That's right. It ain't over till all the dead votes are counted. Every cemetery gets their vote. Sound is more mechanical transmission through a gaseous medium like air. Radiation has changed particles propagating through space. Okay. So LBJ, who advanced by aligning with local Democrat bosses, leveraging federal patronage, and mobilizing Mexican-American voters through the New Deal era programs. What rhino has off someone? I know what you mean, Neuro. Those are active denial systems. The region became a Democrat stronghold defined by infrastructure spending and centralized political control, with county officials often acting as power brokers rather than neutral administrators. That system was epitomized by George P. Parr, the Duval County boss who delivered Johnson his first major electoral victories and demonstrated how county-level authority could shape statewide outcomes. Grok the military, acoustic, charged particles, sorry. That system was, and the legacy of that model continues to influence South Texas politics, particularly when modern election disputes arise from the same institutional culture. In fact, every major failure in American election administration begins long before voters submit ballots. Collapse starts when officials charged with enforcing election law treat statutory requirements as discretionary rather than mandatory. Once that shift occurs, the legal framework designed to safeguard transparency and the republic itself ceases to function as law. Instead, it becomes a set of procedures that can be delayed, reinterpreted, or quietly ignored. President Trump's pardon of Democrat Rep. Harry Cuellar and his wife addressed a politically motivated Biden Justice Department prosecution. Separately, an unresolved issue remains in South Texas. A congressional election marked by statutory violations, conflicting directives, and institutional resistance that prevented a full accounting of what occurred in Texas's 28th congressional district. The 28th district occupies an unusual sensitive position along the southern border centered on Laredo. The district encompasses Port Laredo, which processes 45% of all U.S.-Mexico trade and oversees more than 260 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border. Political behavior in this region has shifted rapidly in recent election cycles, mainly driven by dissatisfaction with the border enforcement and illegal immigration under the Biden administration. In 2020, President Trump lost the district by 5 points. In 2024, he carried the same district by approximately 7 points. Maybe someone should look at what happened in 2020. The shift occurred despite post-2020 redistricting changes expected to benefit Democrats. Under the new lines, Trump's 2020 performance would have translated into a loss of roughly 7 points. Over 4 years, the district moved approximately 14 points towards the Republican nominee. Despite that result, on the same ballots and using the same voting machines, Rep. Cuellar defeated Republican challenger Jay Furman by approximately 5 points. A 12-point divergence between the top of the ticket and a long-serving incumbent does not, on its own, prove misconduct. Voters are free to split their ballots. Oh, look at this. We got Soldier of Providence, Tony coming in. And with that, folks.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
With that, folks, we hit the goal for the first additional hour of the show. Let's see who got those memberships. It says Darren Bennett, 9676, received a gifted membership from Tony. We'll Call Magic received a gifted membership from Tony. Half Irish Tenenbra, and Iowa Backyard Cam all received gifted memberships from Anthony, Tony, Soldier of Providence. Thank you so much. And with that, folks, that means we are now $95 away from the second additional hour of the show. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was referring to the silent ones, which hasn't been used on American. Serbia was different, breaking the ice. It's possible. Thank you so much, Tony. So generous, very generous, Soldier. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anthony. Send them all to New York and let them eat cake. Yeah. To New York with you, my friends. So, yes. Oh, wow, man. We're at 157 people watching right now on YouTube. Wow. And what's it say? I say 55 likes only? Can't be. Can't be 55. 91 likes. Got like, 80 people not like, or what is it? Not 80, but quite a few people not liking it. Sorry to hear that. Humorous still image. I know sound cans were used at the G10 protests. We'll see. Oh, yeah, that's funny. I'll pull that up in a second. So, yeah, however, ticket splitting in modern federal election is extremely rare. In 2024, only 16 congressional districts nationwide split their presidential and House results. Election law exists precisely to examine outcomes that depart sharply from prevailing voting patterns. In this case, the examination never entirely occurred. I have personally reviewed approximately 80 sworn affidavits and more than 100 unsworn declarations, all submitted under penalty of perjury from voters across multiple polling locations. These voters consistently stated that only Henry Cuellar's name appeared on their congressional ballots. Cuellar and Furman were the two principal candidates, according to the declarations. The Republican candidate did not appear at all. Ballot omissions are defects that directly alter the choices available to voters. Furman responded by contesting all the Webb County ballots under statutory provisions, allowing candidates to inspect and copy disputed ballots. That process never occurred in a manner consistent with Texas law. County officials imposed conditions not found anywhere in the election code. Furman was required to physically and personally copy each ballot and was denied access to county equipment capable of handling the 4 by 13-inch ballot format used in the election. As a result, he spent nearly a week attempting to locate private machinery capable of accurately reproducing ballots at speed. What should have been supervised neutral inspection became an improvised, obstructed process. That is crazy. Yeah. Gloria says 92 likes. Just hit the like button, please. Yeah, just hit the like button. Just please, just please hit the like button, man. Please hit the like button. While you're at it, hit the like and hit subscribe to the channel. YouTube will pester you. Yeah, they will. You thought you had yours in. Oh, okay. And then Tony says, I am not sure that you quite understand that joke. The point is I was trying to make, and the point that seemed to be forgotten, is that racism used to exist between nationality. That's why it's funny. Yeah. Yeah, they used to say that. Like, they make how many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? Or, the Polish, space agency was going to go to the sun, the first manned mission to the sun, but don't worry, they're going to go at night. Those jokes, those were considered, like ethnic humor, racist humor, but now they're not considered racist. How can you tell that it's an Italian guy driving down your street? Because they go wop, 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 wop. That's the car tire. Anyway. Coughing, microwaving, the ionosphere to change the weather. Cough, cough. Lol, Jim. Yeah, Irish versus Italian versus Polish. Yeah, you get it. I know. But I mean, nobody ever got upset, though. People would crack jokes. When I was growing up, people would make jokes about, Polish people, Italians, Irish being drunks, potato eaters. It was all, nobody cared. Put the straw down, buddy. When the copying finally began, the statutory chain of custody failed. The entire early vote tally box was reportedly unaccounted for prior to official recording. Furman later relocated the box after it had been left in the counting room without proper custody. He observed it at a distance in the election administrator's office, opened with its contents removed. The box returned nearly an hour later with assurances that its contents were unchanged. Yeah, because people weren't fragile pussies like today. That's right. It was made in Italy. It says fragile. Made in Italy. Fragile. The Polish submarine sank because they couldn't figure out how to get the screen door to work. Yeah, see? There you go. What's really funny, like all the jokes, that's the thing. What's really funny about all the jokes about the Polish people and they're not being smart is it was the Poles who actually cracked the Enigma code, and had all the stuff worked out prior to the fall of Warsaw. And they had to sneak the mathematicians and them out, basically had all worked out all the stuff. And they had originally cracked it. And that's why they had to change it. They also sell dehydrated water to people in the desert. Yeah. Whoa, wait. Stringer Post, driver drove off the bridge of the 210 in Pasadena. Pasadena, California. I'm Polish and married into an Italian family. I had to hear it all. Well, Terry, it happens. Spike Mulligan and other UK comedians were hilarious and no one cared about who they made fun of. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the comedians. There was a Canadian comedian who got fined and almost imprisoned over making a joke about Le Petit Jeremy in Canada. Le Petit. I'm trying to remember his name. Google Spike Milligan Irish space program. If the DOJ could indict Shifty for mortgage fraud or the Russiagate hoax, how is this going to happen? I don't know. Half Irish says, thank you, Soldier Province. Oh, look at her. She's got a beautiful kitty. Half Irish. She's got a beautiful kitty. Poland is going to be the only Europe left at this rate. Yeah. Canada is the worst bunch of Marxist shit. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I know who he is. I know his name. Oh man, he got sued. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. I think he had to pay him Le Petit Jeremy like $150,000 for making a joke about him being, some kind of scam. Like I don't remember what the joke was, so I don't want to screw it up. That's Lavender. That's awesome. That's awesome. Beautiful kitty cat. I got sidetracked. What the hell? I got sidetracked. Damn it. What was I thinking of? There was something. Oh, that's right. Here it is. We'll get to that in a second. So Texas law treats chain of custody breaches as serious violations because they limit the ability to verify whether ballots were altered. Also unprecedented was Webb County allegedly required that only erasable pens can be used for the recount and for recording all tallies. What? When Furman objected, both Secretary of State representatives on site in the agency's legal office in Austin and the Texas Department charged with election integrity permitted the use of pencils despite the absence of any historical precedent statewide without any regulation expressly authorizing their use. I thought it had to be permanent black or something. We had to steal an Enigma machine. We never would have cracked it otherwise. No, but the people in Poland had a lot of them. The first there was two different machines. They figured out it was cracked and they added more reels. And then they had to use the bronze goddesses and stuff, which in Bletchley Park and Alan Turing cracked it later. Like they had like the work that the Poles did getting there without ever seeing a machine was amazing. Poland is lovely, except for the language. What do you mean? Yakshimash. Dobshe. Cool Panther. Yes. Very difficult as a second language for Western natives. Ever heard the joke about a Scotsman and an Irish ventriloquist that entered a bar? The Scotsman said, "Free drinks on me." The next day, the Irish ventriloquist was found dead behind the bar. Oh. Hardly any vowels. Yes, I am of Polish descent. The Poles stole the first machines. Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. James O'Keefe exposed a pay-for-play harvesting operation in Minnesota. Omar collected harvest receiving $200 for each ballot. It's a video to watch. Yeah, I've seen it from 2020. What do you call an Irishman who runs in the wall? Ricochet. Yeah. Compound nouns. An Irish man hanging around your yard, patio furniture. In a separate violation, certified but unused ballots were witnessed by the Republican election judge being actively shredded after the recount was announced, but before its commencement. Texas statute requires all certified and serialized ballots to be preserved as an official election record. These records are necessary to confirm that the number of ballots cast matches the number printed and distributed. Without them, no recount or audit can be complete. Wow. No, that's you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Howdy, y'all. Just lurking while I'm working. I'm lurking while I'm working. Hit the like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Tip your waiters. We're here all week. Try to veal. How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? Only one. Just one. They were cute, Anthony. Minnesota has same-day voter registration. One registered voter can vouch for up to 8 others. 0. Oh, that's right. Yeah, none. Yeah, that's right. No, the potato famine. Bad. Bad, Jim. Bad joke, Jim. Bad joke, Jim. Well, people don't like the jokes, though. Yeah, wow. Is the Minnesota corruption scandal going to be used to keep the election corruption out of the news cycle? It's possible. It's possible. Before copying process concluded, Webb County halted it entirely, foreclosing the possibility of a full forensic review despite the scale of the documented ballot omissions. The Fourth Court of Appeals ordered Webb County Judge Tano Tatareno to immediately allow the copying of all the ballots. According to the record, that review never occurred. Consequently, no full forensic report was produced, despite a recount proceeding under compromise conditions. I've been working on retirement jokes, but none of them work. Jim, be yourself. If you're not, people won't like you. I don't know what that means. It's all connected. It is. The polls held in Enigma and Customs used the time to send a team to measure and photo the decimal machine. Recreated, and Germans none the wiser. Polls created Bamba to brute force code using. Okay. Multiple copied machines. Germans increased the number of disks to make it harder to break. Yeah. Well, I know. I'm saying like the polls did like the initial work. I know that like a lot of work was done, and I think a lot of the scientists or whatever researchers got killed when they were found out about it. Like they smuggled one of. That's right. They smuggled one of the recreated machines out. Now I remember correctly, they smuggled it out before the fall, and I don't know if any scientists made it out though. Even so, a disparity was identified between the original canvass and the recount, triggering the legal requirement for a recanvass. That certificate has never been produced. When the U.S. House Administration Committee, the body that adjudicates congressional election challenges, requested the most recent canvass report, the Texas Secretary of State provided only the original canvass. Furman's election challenge was submitted within the statutory 30-day window following recanvassing, but because the updated certificate was never issued, the filing was deemed late. Furman submitted multiple requests for the recanvass certificate to the Texas State Secretary of State, formally in writing, in person, and through legal counsel, all which were ignored. Judge Tejerina's conduct presents an additional institutional conflict. After failing to enforce the court-ordered inspection, he switched political parties and announced plans to run for the same congressional seat at the center of the Cuellar-Furman dispute. A sworn affidavit states that Torino told Furman prior to the election that he intended to run for Congress if Cuellar prevailed. Judge Tejerina's actions in blocking a full forensic review align directly with the stated objective. Election contests depend on neutral adjudication. When that neutrality collapses, the electorate is betrayed. AKA could not have cracked it without obtaining a machine. Okay. I think the Trump administration can walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, I do too. True. Yeah. Under Texas law, Secretary of State must issue a new canvassing certificate following a recount. To date, the Secretary of State's office has not provided the required post-recount certificate to the U.S. House Administration Committee. Secretary of State Jane Nelson's conduct may reflect a broader pattern. Wait, Nelson. Was that the name? What was the? My thing is, there was a female. I remember during. Oh, what the hell? What was her name? There was a female woman, obviously, governor of Texas for a long time. And I can't think. Was that a Nelson? No. Despite serving as Texas chief election officer under Republican governor, Nelson has repeatedly taken positions at odds with the Republican Party. Her office authorized 1.2 million in taxpayer funds to hire outside counsel to defend Texas' open primary system, directly opposing both Attorney General and Republican Party of Texas, which has sued to implement closed primaries. Interesting. Jim can pull up messages even after retraction. Yes, I can. California has withdrawn its lawsuit against the Trump administration, which sought to recover $4 billion in federal funds. Yeah, the high-speed rail. Yeah, Ann Richards. It was Ann Richards. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was Nelson. I thought it was Ann Nelson. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, we got doc number 27 here. We got doc number 42 over here. Wow. Ma Ferguson. Yeah. That's old. You're going Ma Ferguson. That's going back to when they had to go after that was the first woman governor of Texas. That was back when she had to reinstate the Texas Rangers that she had disbanded. Not one arrest, midterm soon. They lose 2028. Arrest must happen. You think the left will not arrest people as soon as they regain power? Oh, the left is going to arrest people as soon as possible. Yeah, Florida Rep. Shafiq was indicted in September on 15 counts for stealing $5 million in disaster relief. Yeah, I saw that. She bought a ring, a $100,000 ring. We talked about that 2 nights ago, I think. The fraud is in every state, both sides of the aisle. Yeah, no, I know. If Bonnie would just spend. Yeah. So let's see here. All right. Let me get through the story. I got some other stuff below. Her office recently authorized that, under current law, any registered voter may participate in either party's primary, allowing Democrats and independents to influence Republican nominations. In March, 73% of Republican primary voters supported adopting closed primaries, and the state's party amended its rules accordingly. Federal courts have consistently recognized a party's associational right to restrict participation. Nelson's resistance mirrors her approach in the Cuellar Furman dispute, procedural obstruction rather than common sense enforcement in service of election integrity. The broader political environment in South Texas magnifies these concerns. The Cuellar family has exercised influence in Webb County since the 80s. Investigative reporting has documented allegations that Webb County Sheriff Martin Cuellar, Henry Cuellar's brother, used his department to mobilize voters, distribute patronage, and support the family's political interests. Former employees described an environment in which hiring and promotion were tied to political loyalty and turnout efforts. Additional reporting documented similar concerns involving another sibling, Rosie Cuellar, who was paid for a municipal judgeship in Rio Bravo despite never presiding over a case. Public records requested seeking documentation over her compensation and duties were denied or ignored. In a county where the sheriff's department is among the largest employers, such arrangements reinforce a political machine resistant to oversight. This pattern of corruption extends beyond Webb County. Nearby Frio County, 15 Democrat officials, including a county judge, city council members, and a school board trustee, were arrested in a ballot harvesting conspiracy targeting elderly voters. The scheme spanned multiple counties yet received limited national coverage. The legitimacy of congressional representation depends on public confidence in lawful election administration. Texas Republicans have articulated clear expectations, closed primaries, transparent recounts, and strict adherence to statutory timelines. Officials who obstruct those principles while claiming partisan alignment weaken the institutional safeguards elections require. An immediate review and public hearings by the U.S. House Administration Committee in the 2024 election in Texas district is necessary. Without such scrutiny, contested federal elections being resolved through procedural barriers rather than transparent review. Mm-hmm. That name sounds familiar. The general's wife, Kay Granger. Nothing wrong with planning for Democrats to win in 2020. Better safe than sorry. Then they don't play by the rules. Yeah. Likely to pay for fraud and votes. Texas holds a central position. national politics. Allowing the precedent to stand would carry consequences far beyond one district and far beyond one election. Sustained pressure on the Secretary of State to issue a recanvassing certificate combined with fast-track review could ultimately determine whether the 2024 election of a powerful Democrat is deemed invalid. As a result of redistricting, Jay Furman lives in Texas's 35th district and is running to represent it. Furman has vowed to confront election abuses, and his actions reflect a commitment. Although he's no longer running against Henry Cuellar, Furman continues to press for accountability, not for political advantage. The rule of law must govern elections, or nothing else will. Written by Roger Stone. Wow. I've been drinking a bit. Yeah. Let's see here.
The real reason you're stiff after
I'm
sitting.
not supposed to have any fucking commercials.
You can live a very long time without getting old. My wife just turned 70.
I'm pissed.
Watch what happens when you block DHT from your scalp. Day 1, nothing visible yet.
For those of you who
Now I'm pissed. Now I am extremely pissed. I paid for a subscription to this service to get rid of these because I got sick of these commercials. I paid them, and I'm still getting the commercials. It's supposed to be ad free. This isn't supposed to be happening. Gateway Pundit, get your shit together. Hold on one second. I want to try something. All right. Well, that's what's going to happen now. I am canceling that fucking. I'm not paying you anymore. I'm not paying them anymore. That's pissing me off now. Can you do a live stream of you calling customer service? You know what though? Because it wasn't cheap either. It wasn't cheap. It was like $130 for the year. So now I'm mad. I'm really mad.
who read my work, I'm sure you guys have heard about the amount of election fraud in Texas and South Texas. There is a ridiculous amount of fraud in South Texas, and I've been particularly poignant on actually going after it because the amount of fraud in Texas is mostly actually produced by players in the Republican Party. The Republican Party and rhinos in the Republican Party are responsible for fraud, especially in Texas, a red state. Republicans are under the impression that Texas is going to stay red. That's not going to happen. There's no way Texas is going to stay red when the amount of election fraud right now being every single election cycle being conducted in Texas keeps on occurring. And the scariest part of it all is that this is all preventable. All of this election fraud can be stopped immediately by simple players in the Texas government who refuse to actually act upon their duties. As many of you know, Jay Furman, who is a big friend of the show, has been a staunch advocate against this election fraud in South Texas. He ran against Democrat Representative Henry Cuellar in the 2024 election. Henry Cuellar, who is a complete fraud, got elected in a district that I truly believe did not vote for him. You may ask why I believe that, but I'll lay a few facts on the table. There are two things I want to separate. Number one is before the election, and number two is actually after the election. Before Henry Cuellar's election with competing against Jay Furman, before that, the actual election day, I don't know what happened. All I know is that on election day, when the actual election occurred, many people in the hundreds, if not even in the thousands, have reported that the Republican candidate, Jay Furman's name was not actually on the ballots. You see, Texas has electronic ballots that basically don't copy the entire ballot for a registered copy, as Texas code usually does. Instead, these ballots only choose the candidate that the person actually voted for as a copy of the ballot. Therefore, we will not know, and we will never know, whether Jay Furman's ballot or Jay Furman's name was actually omitted. Now, when the recount actually happened, there were significant anomalies. Obviously, as you know, if you read the article, obviously we saw that the recount barely even started. When it did start, it was not even finished and conducted properly. You see, the county judge in this case, the county judge, Judge Tano, refused to continue the recount even after the Fourth Court of Appeals in Texas mandated him to immediately, and I quote, immediately.
No, we're not gonna watch this whole video. This is ridiculous. All right, so I'm not gonna watch the whole video. So whatever. So we got just shit happening in Texas. They're stealing elections. Where are we at here? I saw something. Where'd it go? Oh, look at this. Julio's for $10. Stick it to the man, Jim. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Julio. With that 10, that now puts us now $85 away. $85 away from the second additional hour. Thanks for being here, Julio. Been a long time since you've been on the show, my man. Be nice to see you soon. Thank you. Thank you. Ever hear Hunter S. Thompson's message about on home entertainment system company? It's epic. JD Avance replied today on this Minnesota fraud was weak. When the patient sees I'm setting up an IV and sees the needle, asks if it'll hurt, I smile and say, no, not at all. I won't feel a thing. On their answer machines. And yeah, that's great. There are millions of people stealing your tax money and ruining your country. Let's all complain on social media. That'll fix it. Well, what I'll say, Julio, is I have a solution. I just don't know if it's the smartest thing to do at this point. You know, Nick Shirley is killing it in Minnesota. We need Nick in every state. Yeah. I can't believe anything coming out of a mouth that isn't shaving yet. Call me an ageist. Yeah. I bet that kid didn't have a date in his high school prom. Is this AI? I don't know. He or they, them asking for a friend. Lady Obama, he took his sister. Oh, wow. You guys are mean. This kid needs the word and the word succinct. Yeah, he just can't be 16. 100 nicks, 2 in every state. Yeah. Won't move a needle if Cash Patel isn't following up. Supposedly he is. Supposedly he's following up. We got a story about that. The kid isn't even wet behind the ears yet. Yeah, my point's exactly. I'm in lockstep with your solution, Jim. Okay. You know I'm talking about. Julio knows. We're simpatico, my step, and it has a lot to do with, lockstepping, goose-stepping, something. They're stealing elections everywhere. Yeah, and they're eating the dogs and eating the cats. His voice did sound a bit like Buck Angel. Uh-oh. Happening now, an eastbound vehicle flew off the 210 freeway and crashed up against a metal gate near Azusa Avenue in Azusa Sunday night. The extent of injuries is not immediately known. Highway Patrol, California, chips. Well, I mean, is it a final solution? I mean, you need a solution and it's got to work. So if it's always the last solution you try is always the final solution, right? It's always like when you're looking for your keys, they're always in the last place you look, because when you find your keys, you stop looking for them. So once you find the solution, once you have solved the problem, that's the final solution. You don't have another problem. So it's solved. Punch. That's right. And yeah, Mr. Poncherelli. Hey, who said you could park there? I didn't say you could park there. Wow. And then Kimberly Campbell says that age doesn't make the kid blind. Yeah, definitely can't park there. Dude, where's my car? 69, dude. There's something wrong with my beer. It's empty. Yeah. Somebody put air in here. Hey, look at this beer. It's got a rat in it. We want free beer for life. I respect what Nick Shirley is doing. It's part of, and he does it well. It is. Everyone's got to do their part. Everyone's got to do their part. I'm doing my part. Are you doing your part? I'm having a similar issue. I was going to drink tonight, but I did enough last night that I don't need to drink tonight. Buddy, that would have been an interesting show, though. Very interesting. A drunken gym stream. Oh, look at this. Got a great picture here. We've got the Quality Leering Center in Minnesota. Wow, look at that. Does anyone know what this is? Does anyone know what this is? Elsnore Brewery. You think that's up here? A couple days ago, meth head steals a car from a female cop after wandering around on I-5. That's the Obama Library. Yes, it's Soviet style. Yes, it looks like the thing that they from Star Wars. It's Obama's library, the Obama trash can. Yeah. But it's the Quality Leering Center. That's where they're going to teach all the smellies. They're going to teach them all. They're going to learn them. They're going to leer them. They're going to leer them something good. Somali money scam operations exposed in multiple states. Bump, bump, bump. By Drew Hernandez. Hey, I am the Captain No. Let's see.
The real reason you're stiff after sitting.
You can live
because eating purple noodles will make you stiff. Those are Viagra noodles.
Nuts do to our body.
Oh.
A walnut is really good for you. It's loaded with omega-3.
Somali scams exposed literally everywhere.
Wow.
Minnesota Somali slams door on journalist Nick Shirley for exposing millions in daycare fraud. An angry Somali woman working at a daycare with no children inside slammed the door as journalist Nick Shirley asked some simple questions about the so-called Children's Center. Minnesota Child Care Center claims it takes care of 102 children. However, the facility is empty. Nick Shirley released the full 42-minute video of his investigation into the Somali fraud rings in Minnesota. It's estimated Somali healthcare scammers may have stolen more than $9 billion in taxpayer money in Minnesota.
This Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open up!
They said they spelled learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children?
Is this lady for real? Who is this? Who is this people? They're crazy. Is there a reason all these smellies haven't been arrested yet? Well, they try, but they're so skinny they slip out of the cuffs, Julio. They don't have cuffs small enough to hold them. They can fit through, they put them in the cells and they can slip through the bells. Yes, white women were a mistake. God really screwed up this one. Ugh.
Children.
Don't open up!
And getting $4 million over
Open up! It's ice!
$4 million
Ice. It's
in the
just
last
people
2
crazy.
years.
Everyone is ice.
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away.
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know
You're
what
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you!
Are you in favor of $1.9 million going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up!
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up! It's ice!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
Wow. The fraud angle is one way to look at it, but were their children ever here?
Spelling leering. No,
Makes you wonder.
No, see, you're wrong. See, they didn't spell it wrong. They're teaching all the smelly kids how to leer at the white women. And that's why that white woman is there. She wants to make sure she gets leered at properly. She doesn't want any of this improper leering. She wants to be leered at correctly. I have to update. Nick is Mormon. And he first started doing videos when he went on his mission. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. They should ask her how much she makes off the scam, probably. I forgot to update the goal. The goal expired and I didn't start a new one. Time to start a new goal. That's right. For the start a new goal for the next hour. I got to do it before it's too late. Well, we are currently $85 away, so I'm going to update this real quick. Don't anybody do anything while I'm doing it, because that's always. There we go. All right. Well, we got another hour right now. Hour to go. Hour to go for the goal, for the goal. We'll get back to this in a second. Nick is over 100 million viewers now. Thank God traditional news is irrelevant. Yeah. Not one toy, not one diaper. She's in on it. Oh, yeah. Blow your rape whistle. Yeah. Definitely. So Nick is as crazy as that woman. Probably. They couldn't even spell Leering right. Well, yeah. What date was he at the Leering Center? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see.
Were they trafficked? Were they sold into sex slavery? Where are the children? I think that's a deeper question to be asked in a situation like this. Democrats, missing children, fraud, corruption. Do the math. Speaking of corruption, shocking EBT fraud schemes exposed in Ohio's Somali community. An independent journalist in Ohio has uncovered elaborate fraud schemes allegedly involving Somali immigrants exploiting the electronic benefit transfer EBT system. The investigation, detailed in a video that has gone viral on social media, highlights how some individuals are using welfare benefits to subsidize their businesses while evading taxes. The video, posted on X by @WallStreetApes, shows the journalist touring Columbus neighborhoods and explaining the mechanics of the scheme. He describes how Somali-owned restaurants are often attached to grocery stores, allowing owners to use EBT cards to purchase bulk ingredients for their dishes. According to the investigator, these grocery stores are likely to report significant losses annually, which are used as tax write-offs, while the restaurants operate on cash, funneling the government-funded goods into profitable ventures. The journalist also points out the role of polygamous marriages in the community, noting that multiple wives can claim benefits as single mothers, further maximizing welfare payouts. The journalist also references Minnesota, where 88% of the Somali community is reportedly on social services, suggesting the fraud in Columbus could be equally pervasive.
Oh, yeah. The Somalians have it figured out in Columbus. I went to the Walmart on Georgesville to see if I could see people filling their carts or just kind of see what I could see. Not the way they do it. They've got it figured out way better than that. Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door or within eye shot of the restaurant. The specific one I went into today had it attached to the restaurant. And wow, what an adventure that was. Stay tuned for more on that. Anyways, the grocery store and the restaurant were the same building. So they don't have to go to a Walmart or a Sam's Club.
Wait, what? You can't see the video. You can't see the video. You serious? I was playing a video. You didn't see it? Oh, you did see it. Never mind. Okay. I was typing something. Sorry, did I screw something up? Uh-oh. Nick's not crazy. And then we got, oops. With the $4 from Audra, that's now $81 away from a second additional hour of the show. And it's a really good show. And it's a really good show. And then Richard comes in with $5. Thank you, Richard. That means we are now $76 away. And then Audra says, I couldn't resist. Well, that's okay. I'm never going to say thank you. So Anthony says I would volunteer my time and effort without pay if I could help keep Nick safe from harm and harassment. We can't see the video. Oh my God. Richard comes in with $1. Never mind. Okay. Let me fix that. No, now that means we are $75 away from the second additional hour of the show. $75 away. Okay. And then, never mind. Okay. And then laughing. You can't do this if you're a certain non-color. Elon should finance Nick's security. He should. He could do it very easily. could do it very easily. But anyway, so let's get back.
Club or a Costco necessarily. They can just order everything they need to their grocery store that's right next to or attached to the restaurant that they also own and never have to fill a single cart. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the records of those grocery stores, they lose tons of money every year, and it's probably used as a tax write-off because those groceries are being funneled into those restaurants with a daycare center on the opposite side. And that's the common trend you'll see. There's restaurants, grocery stores, and daycare centers, and also home health care businesses. I can't forget the home health care businesses. Nakia was absolutely right. And the reason for the daycare centers, I found out while I was at Walmart. 3/4 of the workers I saw working in Walmart, especially the cashiers, were Somali women. You got to figure if you have two or
Wow. Wow. Vince is here. He says, hello, everyone taking a break from painting. One coat to go. Oh, that's cool. Nick is so cool. And calm. We need more. Yes. Awesome. Tatum security team volunteered for this one, and he takes donations for future events. So this is why they allowed all the Somali scams. I don't know. I don't know why they allow them all. I really don't. I think the Democrats are being funded by a lot of it. I think that's why they allow it. I think the money is coming in. It's going just like that guy. What was his name? Bankman Freeze, right? Bankman Freed, whatever his name was. Sam Bankman Freed. He all that money, crypto money that was funneled out and around. It came through Ukraine, came back through him, and back to the Democrats. Yeah. Try making an all-white community like this. It'll be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah.
3 wives that you don't have to claim. These women can go work at Walmart full-time for $15 an hour and still qualify for food stamps as long as they have a couple kids, which you can guarantee you they at least have 2 kids. Hell, they average 7. Or same story as working as a home health care aide. They have most definitely figured out the system and how to take advantage of it. And Columbus doesn't break down its numbers like Minnesota fraud is. So I'm changing tactics and going back up Monday, and I have a couple ideas to see if I can't sniff a few things out.
Somalis means that a lot of our your box scammers. Ilhan Omar's husband's $30 million firm scrubs names from website amid scrutiny over Rep's sudden wealth and Minnesota welfare fraud ties. The $30 million venture capital firm run by Representative Ilhan Omar's husband, Tim Minette, has quietly removed the names and bios of its top officers and advisors from its website.
Wow, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. Independent journalist Nick Shirley has brought national attention to a massive child care housing scam in Minnesota after releasing a 42-minute video investigating, documenting alleged fraud at facilities reportedly receiving millions in state funds. They're too dumb to figure out these scams. They're being assisted. Yeah, someone's assisting them. It's money laundering. Yeah. Plus more money to bankers. Yeah. Wasn't her husband on her staff? Yeah, he was her campaign, campaign chairman or whatever. Head of her campaign. Damn it. What is wrong with my brain tonight? I can't. Campaign manager. Wow. What is wrong with me? Shirley's investigation alleged that some of the child care centers, as listed as licensed facilities caring for dozens of children, appear empty during repeated daytime visits, with one facility allegedly receiving $4 million while showing no visible evidence of children. Following Minnesota's exposure of what federal prosecutors describe as the largest pandemic fraud scheme in U.S. history, with over $1 billion in misappropriated taxpayer funds, similar patterns have emerged in Ohio, where attorney Mehek Cook was revealed having a decade-long Medicaid fraud scheme, allegedly exploiting members of the Somali community. Well, how would he be exploiting them? He's exploiting us. He's stealing our money. Need to check out the Somali town in Texas that they're building. Oh my God. What? Yeah, wasn't her husband. Yeah, I got you. With individuals obtaining $91,000 annually through false claims of providing home health care to family members who require no such care. Oh my God. So they had this Ohio fraudsters have systematically manipulated the state's Medicaid system, individuals obtaining $91,000 annually through false claims of providing home health care to family members. Anywhere in New England, free security for me, for him, or people like him. There's a girl that is good too. Not exactly sure what her name is. Same protection applies the most. I think you're talking about, I can't remember her name either. She's in Portland a lot, or Seattle. Blonde chick, very pretty too. Very little skinny, pretty little thing. The Ohio whistleblower warns that the fraud extends beyond Minnesota and describes the schemes as involving coerced providers, coached patients, and doctor rubber stamping fraudulent claims. The connection between these fraud schemes and Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar. I am the representative now. Yeah, PYT. She's a PYT. I can't remember her name. Damn it. It'll come to me. My brain is still, I'm still foggy from yesterday. And said, according to they've come under scrutiny, particularly regarding increased net worth, which, according to financial disclosures, grew from a reported negative net worth in 2018. Davidson, is that her name? Something Davidson? No. Davidson. Davis Court. That's her name. Something Davis Court. Ilhan is banned from Somalia for a failed coup. Reports indicate that multiple individuals convicted of fraud in Minnesota schemes have connections to Omar's office, including a restaurant owner convicted of stealing $12 million. Omar has denied any personal. He hosted campaign events for her. Omar's denied personal involvement in any of the fraud. No, but she's just gotten money from it. Federal authorities report that 59 individuals have been convicted in connection with the Minnesota schemes, with all but 8 of the 86 charged having Somali heritage. Though representatives, I think some of the people actually, Caitlin Davis Court, I think her name is, right? Yeah, I think you're right. Don't quote me on the name, but I think it's Caitlin or Catlin. You have to assume they're all lying. Yeah. That's what you have to start out with. Always start out with the assumption that they're lying. And the reason you know they're lying is because their lips are moving. That's why she can't go back. Her family was fucking with the system. Yeah, her family was part of the Bari, B-A-R-I, or B-A-R-R-I, B-A-R-E, or something like that regime. I worked with Nigerians. I can confirm. Yeah, that's how you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has announced that the federal investigation will examine whether money siphoned from Minnesota's welfare program through fraud has been transferred overseas, including to Somalia terrorist organization Al-Shabaab. And so, since we're talking about Somalis, and since we're talking about fraud and the government and the people of Minnesota, you saw that lady that was telling them to go away, ICE and all this stuff. I thought we deserved to have this played again for everyone.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive. You're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green-looking skin, and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we want to eat babies." I have them on video.
He's got him on video.
Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head.
I'm taking it back, Mr. K. I'm taking it back.
Ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
Literal vampire plot and the goblins hobbling around, coming after us.
My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap, we don't even notice that itself rising up against us. Millions of born people, very worst I'm so pissed. We're gonna sell your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the rich chief is gonna say, we love
our Somalis.
We love our Muslims. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so sweet.
Anyway, Flash Cash ruined this for me. Well, Mr. K, I'm taking it back. All right. Yes, we're taking it back. I'm ruining the song. Oh, sorry. Everyone should dance. One of my faves. Yes. Sorry. One of my favorites too. And what do you know? Kash Patel threatens Somali scammers with denaturalization and deportation. Alex Jones, the professional wrestling of the news. Alex was right. Yes. I'll tell you, if I had a jar that had $1 million put in it every time Alex Jones was right, I'd have a couple $1 million. I prefer the Gay Frog remix. I don't think I've seen that one. Where's that one at? And uncovering the Minnesota fraud is the tip of a very large iceberg. See, the tip of the very large iceberg. The smells like sulfur is a great line. Yeah, it is. Whistleblower claims Maine taxpayers are the newest victims of Somali link Medicaid scheme. Yes. Eating the cats was a stripper club banger. Oh, it was. Eating the dogs, eating the cats. I'm often crushed after putting faith in people without integrity. I don't understand why nobody else seems to have integrity. It seems I pride myself in it. Why would anyone else? You have to, Anthony, you have to be very careful with who you trust in this world. It really is. It's a sad thing, but it is. We used to be a high trust society. We are no longer a high trust society in America. We are not. There's too many people that are untrustworthy, that don't have shared goals, shared values. Everyone thinks they have integrity. Yeah, but the integrity that they have is the same integrity that Randy Marsh has in South Park. I got my integrity. I'm selling it. All right, let's hear what this guy has to say.
A former program coordinator at a health services company is blowing the whistle, alleging to News Nation that a Somali American-led contractor in Maine defrauded the state's Medicaid program by falsifying client visit records. That left taxpayers to fund the bill for services that were never completed, according to the claims.
We started getting some clients calling and saying, months later that their client owed them hours. They hadn't come in for these shifts and stuff. But I had a time card for it.
And then they were billing for it.
They were billing for it.
Christopher Bernardini, who worked for and was later fired from Gateway Community Services, the health services contractor at the heart of the scandal, told News Nation that the scheme got worse during the pandemic, alleging that when the company received a PPP
all about
loan,
those Benjamins,
it started giving
baby.
out bonuses to undeserving employees. Bernardini is putting a public face on a scandal that first started to come to light in May, when local news outlet Maine Wire reported that Gateway Community Services had inflated Medicaid billing for at least 7 years and received a violation for overbilling MaineCare by nearly $1 million between 2015 and 2017, according to former employees. Months earlier, the outlet had published a damning deep dive on the health company's founder, Abdullah Ali, a Somali American who, while serving as executive director, was also running to become president of Jubaland, a state in southern Somalia. In an interview dug up by the outlet, Ali, who later lost the election, claimed to Kenyan media that while in the U.S., he had helped finance a militia in the Somali state.
It does look like the same guy. Wait a minute. That's the same guy.
Ali addressed the criticism on his now private X account, writing, "I make no apologies for building a successful business in Maine, working hard to earn a living, earning my PhD, giving back to my Maine community, and running for office in Jubaland. I am proud to contribute my hard-earned money to support my people back home. America is a nation of laws. You cannot change facts by fabricating false stories. I am a Somali American."
Yeah, AKA
Bernardini's claims have left conservatives in the state
Mr.
in an
Jabba
uproar
Jabba Land.
over the alleged fraud.
Is that a
and they have
song?
called for an investigation.
Isn't that a song?
This is the latest controversy erupting around Somali migrants in the U.S. that is Republicans up in arms, looking for answers, and at which President Trump has been front and center. Most recently, the president directed a rant at Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, whom he said should go back to the East African country.
I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right?
Wow. Let's see who we got here. So we got Leo says, I only trust my family, my band, and Jim tells you. We can always trust that. I'll tell you if I'm not sure about something, I'll say I think or maybe. I don't know. That's what I believe. And if I'm wrong and someone proves me wrong, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. Because I'm just telling you my opinions on a lot of things and the news as I read it. And if the news is wrong or what I read it, then it's what it is. So I'm not going to try to, tell you stuff purposely to mislead you. And it's a shame that our children and grandchildren will never know what it's like to leave your doors unlocked like we used to. It is a shame. And Anthony says, I was in the infantry, spent 2 years in Iraq. Even some people who wear uniforms can be hard to trust. Well, that's why it's not what's on the outside that matters, Anthony. It's really not. Like they say, don't judge a book by its cover. It's really true. If it's an evil black person on the inside, a black heart, you can't, you can't see that. You just have to let the actions speak louder than words, as they say. Yes. And Richard says, get the money back and deport every one of them. I agree, all of them. So true, Audra. Yeah, running for president, Jubbaland. What's that song? Mr. Wubba Wubba, Mr. Lubba Lubba. Wasn't that the song? Jubba Jubba, Mr. Jubba Jubba. Imagine sending Africans to Maine. Yeah. PhD in what? Probably African culture or something. African something. I'm an American America. That's great. Can we move on from Somalis and other bad people? Is there any good news? This might be good news, actually, this story. Once we get to the story, this might be good news. Some could say. Good news doesn't draw money. They're also billing the IRS for all these absent children for reimbursement, probably. I had a colonel that was supposed to help me back in 1516. I ended up staying at a homeless shelter for veterans while paying a mortgage for a house I couldn't live in. Wow. Well, that sucks. Maybe Julio, but this is Jim Tells You. Well, it is. I identify as a Chinese African. Oh. Konnichiwa. That's Japanese. I joined the VFW not long ago. That MFer is a member there too. Well, this one, is this the gay frog one? Is that the gay frog one? What happened 2 weeks later? Governor Tim Walz economy doesn't work without child care providers, so we're giving them a raise. Yeah, that's what happens. They give them a raise. Is this I don't know. I'll see. We'll see this one next. We'll try to play this one next. Hopefully I don't have to clip it out later. So yeah, we're going to get on to the story here. So FBI Director Kash Patel says that the multi-million-dollar fraud uncovered in Minnesota is just the tip of a very large iceberg as he threatened convicted Somali scammers with denaturalization and deportation. So this is good news, right? Denaturalization, so take away their citizenship and then ship them the fuck out of the country. Get them out. Afuera, afuera, afuera. Judge a person by their character and not the color of their uniform or how else they might try to represent themselves as? Yes. Yeah. WAP, wet ass. Yeah, WAP. Maybe. I think that's you're thinking of Mr. Lover Lover, which is Boombastic by Shaggy. Yeah, isn't that the Mr. Boomba Lumberland Bastic? Yeah, that's it. The blacks have been doing this for years. That's where they learned it from. WAP? Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Trying to explain to libs the idea of a noble savage is just a trick to make them think primitives can integrate. Tribes that are centuries behind will take centuries to mainstream. Possibly. Maybe. So, Director Patel said the FBI has surged personnel to investigate resources in the North Star State to take down fraud schemes even before they have gained attention online in a lengthy statement on social media. Yes, Jim, they need to stop threatening to deport and start doing it. Yes. Well, they're trying, but do you see what's going on? They're getting stopped at judges by every step. This is crazy. It's nuts. Yet, just nuts. Many of those indicted were from Minnesota's smelly population, the largest immigrant group in the state. Wow. To date, the FBI dismantled a $250 million fraud scheme that stole federal food aid meant for vulnerable children during COVID. Cash says a lot of stuff. I'm hoping to sell my house and move to Texas, north of Dallas. Minnesota and Walsh was the cash cow Kamala needed. I think you are not wrong. I think that's where all the smurfing of the money came from. All those contributions, handy dandy, that they sent in that were like what they were exposing. Like, who are these people? All these donations. These people. Went and talked to these old ladies, and they're like, "How much you give?" I gave $25. It says here you gave $15,000 over these times. Oh my God, no, I couldn't donate that much. I don't have that kind of money. I'm on a fixed income. And with that, folks, we are $65 away from the second additional hour of the show. Thank you so much. 6 months after setting up her NGO, Stacey Abrams was given $2 billion to fund it. The Somalis had to work much harder. Yeah, they did. You're right. We need to start indicting these activist judges. That's what needs to happen. Just arrest them. Yes, let's rally. There we go. Charities run like our voting system. Yeah, it's crazy. The investigation and exposed scam vendors, shell companies, just like Biden had 11 shell companies to funnel all the money he was taking from China and everywhere else. So I'm saying this is the this might be all politicians, but it's definitely the Democrats operate like this. We've seen it. Joe Biden, all these other people, shell companies moving money around, large scale money laundering to the Feeding Our Future network. The legacy media is leveraging judgments by federal judges that have not authority to issue the judgments. People that think they do freak out. They need to let the Supreme Court decision then that set the president to go absolutely apeshit. The Supreme Court just recently ruled that the president couldn't use the National Guard to protect people. Isn't that crazy? The case saw 78 indictments and 57 convictions. Yeah, except for in some of these convictions, judges threw out later. Defendants included Abu Wabba Muhammad, Alamed Ahmed Ali, Hussein Farah, Abdullah Nurawa Jawasu, Ashesha Farah Hassan, Asawa Camaro, Asamai Camaro. This guy's name is Asamai Camaro. Assuradid Bixi Duel. Ugh. Would they just make these names up? White people are the so 90s. Get over it. Yeah, I guess you're right. The government, this country is getting used to all the widespread corruption. It is, and it's sad. It's weird. The left did it. Yeah, the demon rats. Abadu Jamama Noor and others were charged with attempting to bribe a juror with $120,000 in cash. Hey, Joe's here. What's up? Great to see you, Joe. Joe, if you didn't hear, I don't have any. Well, I might have some. I might have a couple put to the side. Maybe we could look at, but I don't really have a whole white versus white section tonight. When the Republicans tried to get arrested and paraded around in the public. Joe, what's up? Great to see you. So yeah, he pleaded guilty, was sentenced to 10-year prison term and $48 million in restitution. The FBI believes this is just as a tip of a very large iceberg. We will continue following the money and protecting children. Get your ass in my Camaro. That's the guy's name. Didn't you see that right there? It says right there's his name, Camaro. Hey, what's up, J-Rock? Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, all you members, you guys get a free member chat once a month. If you're members, you get a free member chat. The FBI believes is the tip of the iceberg. Look at the leering. He's leering at that sign. Look at the way he's leering at that Leering Center sign. Furthermore, many are also being referred to immigration officials for possible denaturalization and deportation. Had di Salami. Yeah, Hayad di Salami. Patel's announcement came in the wake of a viral social media video highlighting fraud in Minnesota's child care and Leering centers. Vlad survived in a dungeon eating rats. Yes, he did. In that video, many facilities appear to be non-operating fronts. Oh, yeah, fronts. Club Somalia. We will not play your dangerous game. Yeah, many Republican lawmakers include. Oh, look at this. Nope. Got the 5. Tim tells you membership gifted from Julio Scissors. And those 5 went to Mr. K, received 1. Handy Dandy, Don Boo 679, Miss K, Misty K, and Cat Snow 11. All received gifted memberships from Julio Scissors. Yeah. And with that, folks, that puts us now just $35 away from a second additional hour of the show. That's right, folks, just $35 away. Shalom, Joe. Are Camaros even good anymore? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they look nice. I don't know. Much appreciated, Julio. It was that or ordering Taco Bell DoorDash. Oh, well, you probably saved yourself some heartburn by not ordering the DoorDash. Camaros. I don't know. I mean, some of the new, they have some nice SS ones now that have like the same motor in it as the Vet ZR1, or not ZR1. Maybe it is. They have a Camaro ZR1s, and they think they might have the same like Z06 or maybe a ZR1 motor like the Vets have. The new Vets are really nice. Wow, look at Governor Walz addressed the fraud at a press conference back in November before the full scale and reported abuse came to light. The scandal undermines trust in government and undermines programs that are absolutely critical in improving the quality of life. Well, I'm sure these programs improve the quality of life of all the people that were scamming them. I mean, those people buying, hundreds of thousands of dollars in, cars and properties in Nigeria and Kenya, they improved their quality of life, definitely. Oh, you're going to head to shower and head to bed? Well, thanks for stopping by, Joe. Greatly appreciated. Mr. Cases, thank you. If you're committing fraud, no matter where you come from, what you look like, what you believe, you're going to jail. Really? Not if a judge says you don't have to. Most new cars are junk. First it was plastic valve cutters. Now a YouTuber does engine teardowns and coming across engines with plastic oil pans. That is nuts, right? That's just nuts. Shirley blasted Walt's critiques during an appearance on Fox's Big Weekend. There better be change. People are demanding it. The investigation has been launched just from the video alone, so there better be change. Like I said, we work way too hard. We paid taxes and knowing where our money's going. Not going to bed, going to shower. Okay. Good night, Joe. Had the salami will not play your dangerous game. It's supposed to be funny. Read it again or a couple times. It's funny, I promise. Hey, D Salami. I don't know. He cheekily added the fraud was so blatant that even a kindergartner could have figured it out. The alleged fraud scheme dates back to 2015 when daycare centers were accused of overcharging Minnesota's child care assistance programs. More recent alleged scams have involved Medicaid-funded disability schemes, housing schemes, elderly schemes, condominiums. Yeah, they got scam holders, condominiums. Yeah. Following the uncovering what the authorities call large-scale fraud. Well, just Wall Street salami. President Trump last month announced he was suspending TPS protection for smellies and claimed Minnesota was the hub of money laundering. Well, it is. So here, because everyone was asking for it and they said this was the better one, I'm going to play this.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like a frog. Gay friggin' frogs. Frogs. Friggin' frog crap.
Friggin' frog.
Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs. Place point.
So. Mustafa Ruda Poor Pooper. Eat Your Ass is his other hit. Yeah. Atrazine. Yeah. Harad. He is saying more real science than the mainstream media. Yeah, that's funny. We used to say that stuff, and people are, and then finally they like, actually, it's causing them to change sexes. The frogs. So, FBI Director Kash Patel confirms Somali fraudsters are being referred for denaturalization and deportation. So he dropped a major bombshell on the massive Minnesota fraud scandal on Sunday, revealing the FBI is pushing denaturalization and deportation of many involved in the $250 million scheme that ripped off taxpayer dollars meant for hungry kids during COVID. Yeah, trust the science. Patel made it clear that it's just a tip of a very big iceberg. So case update, we're calling for all the smellies to be deported. Deport all the smellies. And he was right. So, yeah, he was right. We got this. It says the FBI is surging resources to Minnesota early in the federal fraud investigation. He's like, I have these hands. I don't know what to do. He's like, this is like Ricky Bobby, all right, in the interview. I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm talking to you. FBI Director Kash Patel on December 28th confirmed that his office had surged resources to Minnesota and to investigate claims of fraud exploiting federal services and programs. Federal officials have so far indicted 78 people, convicted 57. The FBI is made aware of recent media reports from social media. However, even before the public conversation escalated, the FBI had surged personnel to investigate the resources to Minnesota to dismantle the large-scale fraud. Just look at the French Prime Minister's wife. Oh, the hands. Okay. The FBI director also said the recent arrests are just the tip of a very big iceberg. He's literally making lies real look better. Lies real. Fraud scheme resulted in stealing of federal food aid meant for vulnerable children. So I think we read all this. So let's keep going. Let me close some tabs 1 second here. Got this story. It's a good story. It's a good feel-good story. Prosecutors seek the death penalty for a career criminal who stabbed women over 40 times in the Dollar General parking lot. Right? Oh, what do you know? Oh, you must have a rod. Mustafa Harad up your pooper. Okay, got it. That reeks of cover-up. Yeah, that's what I said. A jury convicted one of the fraudsters, and a judge overturned it. Yeah, I heard it's happened on a couple cases. I wonder if those judges were financed by these fraudsters, maybe their campaign. Hi, Jim. Damn autocorrect. What's up? How's it going? Low watermark. So great to see you, buddy. Thank you, Sunshine. I told you you'd like a feel-good story just like this, right? Am I drinking or is he? Yeah. So, hey, Mark, what's up? So, feel-good story. Prosecutors seek death penalty. That's a feel-good story, right? Prosecutors are seeking a death penalty for a career criminal who stabbed a woman more than 40 times in an unprovoked attack at the Dollar General parking lot. 54-year-old Lamar Beasley stabbed Cheyenne Castens, 36, in the parking lot of Fruitland Park, Florida, Dollar General last month. According to Putnam County Sheriff's Office, Beasley ambushed Castens and repeatedly stabbed her before fleeing to a nearby camper. Beasley's and Castens did not know each other. So did he do it because she was white? Is that going to come out? Is that what's going to be said? Is that it was a racial killing? Did she look at him funny? Maybe she thought the N-word in her head. That's what she thought it, or that's going to be the story. She said it or thought it. She looked like she was saying it in her head, in her mind. And so she deserved to die. A grand jury indicted Beasley for capital murder earlier this month. State's attorney R.J. Larissa is seeking the death penalty. The defendant murdered our victim 5 months after his release from prison. Oh, what do you know? Yeah. Isn't he white? Maybe he is white. Maybe he is. SNL opening with Robert De Niro doing funny Arabic names post 9/11. Wasn't it racist? Just saying. Maybe. What the fuck is going on out there? I got guests in my house getting restless. I hear all types of noises coming from the kitchen. Beasley is a career criminal and convicted sex offender, so who already should have been through the wood chipper, who was released from prison in July. He has a history of violent attacks against women going back to the early 90s. Investigators with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office arrested Beasley after they said he killed a 36-year-old Cheyenne Castens in a random attack that resulted in her being stabbed more than 40 times. We have some theories on his motives, but we're not sure what his intent was. Oh, so his motive was racial, but we didn't know if he just intended on, his intent was just to tickle her softly with the tip of the knife 40 times. Beasley, who is a convicted sex offender, had been released from prison just months before the murder for violating the terms of the sex offender registry. Back in 1999, he was sent to prison for 15 years after he was convicted of rape and false imprisonment. According to the detectives in that case, the woman was beaten and choked before she was sexually assaulted. In 1991, Beasley was sent to prison after he was convicted for attempted murder and armed burglary. And then in February 2021, Stalling said detectives were looking at Beasley as the primary person of interest in the death of 20-year-old Naisha Nelson. Her remains were discovered in a shallow grave along a road just outside of Crescent City days after she was reported missing. Wow. Wow. Yes. Horrible scum. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's obviously an angel. Yeah, he's just misunderstood. He's never been given a second chance. He needs his fourth second chance, you see. Oh, this story. Primary sabotage. Not niqab wearing Muslim. I think this might be a Takia story. How about Monster? Yes, Monster, who has voted Demon Rat since at least 2008, is the only Republican running for North Carolina Senate. Yeah, family man, definitely family man. This is the Republican running for North Carolina Senate. Just take that in for a second while I have a drink. In a move that has shocked conservatives across social media, a niqab-wearing Muslim woman named Lakeisha M. Alston has filed to run as a Republican for North Carolina State Senate District 22 in the 2026 election. Why is she running as a Republican? Press X it out. Republicans? Republican? What the? Serious question. How many districts in the U.S. were won by Soros-funded candidates? Too many. Too many. Just when I started thinking I hate this kind too much, they justify more. Right? That was a 0 as opposed to a 1. Yes. Alston is the only Republican in the race so far, and her history screams lifelong Democrat. The shocking mood has led to many to question if this is an infiltration tactic from the left designed to disrupt the GOP primaries and hand victories to Democrats in the general election. You don't say. This person, Lakeisha M. Alston, has filed as a Republican for the North Carolina Senate District 22, the only Republican running. They are now trying to screw up the primaries. What a joke. Are we sure that's a woman under there? I don't know. Or two, or a substance for that matter. Yes. Alston's photo and registration went viral on X when conservative commentator Eric Doherty posted a screenshot of her official filing and an image of her standing between the American and North Carolina flags, fully veiled in a black niqab that obscures her face except for her eyes. The images submitted to the Durham County Board of Elections has gone viral, amassing thousands of likes and reposts as conservatives question the legitimacy of her candidacy. Alston, a low-profile figure with no apparent campaign website or active social media presence tied to her run, filed her notice of candidacy on December 17th, according to the Durham County Board of Elections. Public records paint a clear picture of Alston's political leanings. Voter history from the North Carolina State Board of Elections shows she's been participating in Democratic primaries and general elections since at least 2008. Look at that. Early in voting in person. Oh, look at that. 2024 Democrat. Her record includes consistent Democrat primary participation. Third-party voter databases like voterrecords.com list her affiliated with the Democrat Party, registered at an address in Durham since 2008. Soros-backed DAs represent 1 in 5 Americans. Well, yeah, he tried to take control. He took over all the Soros backed DAs represent 1 in 5 Americans. Yeah. Of course they have the political will. Yeah, that's what his purpose was. He thought he could affect the most change by taking over the district attorney offices. They can control who gets prosecuted and control who gets prosecuted. Go after, their enemies instead of the criminals. We need a whole new party that will only allow real conservatives in, no more rhinos. Under North Carolina law, candidates must be affiliated with their chosen party for at least 90 days before filing for a primary. Alston filed December 17th, means she would have needed to switch her registration to Republican by September 18th at the latest. This suggests a recent party flip, conveniently after the 2024 election, where she still voted as a Democrat. Oh, Tony says, Dick Parker gets it. He also gives it, hence his name. Unaffiliated voters aren't even allowed to file in party primaries, so she couldn't have pulled this off without formally aligning with the GOP. Allison hasn't publicly explained her shift, and attempts to find her campaign platform yield nothing. There are no websites, no policy statements. Her X account appears to be abandoned with just 2 followers and outdated profile pic. District 22, which covers part of Durham County, is a solidly blue area currently held by Democrats. The Democrat primary already has 2 contenders, incumbent Sophia Chitlick and Diana Freeman. North Carolina semi-open primaries allow unaffiliated voters to choose a party ballot, but the real vulnerability is in low turnout primaries where a single questionable candidate can dominate. If Alston wins the GOP nomination unopposed, she could force Republicans into a no-win scenario where they must either back a candidate with a Democrat track record or watch the seat go uncontested in the general. Good job. You're a kind soldier of Providence. How do we know that's a woman? Comment reminded me of a joke. Little 5-year-old Muslim boy is lost in a store, and a clerk asked him, "What does your mommy look like?" He screamed, "I don't know." Lots of love for Mr. Parker. That's funny, Vince. It really is. Wow. Yeah, definitely. Lakeisha's official filing photo was Republican State Senate. It's a Democrat exploiting the open primaries where unaffiliated voters can cross lines. With no other Republicans stepping up yet, Alston could sail through the primary unopposed. Well, that's on the Republicans of North Carolina, who kind of suck anyway, because they basically screwed over the guy who was running for governor. I think Robinson was his name, right? Robinson. And to get a Democrat, so they get what they deserve. You get what you deserve. I get a little wood on the ball once in a while. North Carolina Republican Party has yet to comment publicly, but calls are mounting for them to investigate and encourage a true conservative to enter the race before the filing deadline. It's why the shit libs gain so much political support against the majority will. It is. That's why. What do you know? We got this. Bernie Sanders demands a moratorium on new data centers to slow down AI. Oh, of course. Of course. Fearful of a lot. Senator Bernie Sanders on Sunday called for a moratorium on data processing sites used to fuel AI to get a better grasp on regulating the burgeoning technology and how it benefits the 1%. The 1% are benefiting from the AI, and we need to stop the AI because of the 1%. You've got to stop the 1%. The 84-year-old communist, the 84-year-old commie from Vermont warned that the country has not had the kind of discussion that we need to reflect how the ultra-rich are benefiting from the artificial intelligence and the technology and other economic ramifications, as well as its effects on the children. Who's going to think about the children? I think we need to be thinking seriously about a moratorium on these data centers and the State of the Union doing the AI special. Yeah. The demon rats hate the AI because it will uncover all their games unless they can get control of it and program it to only say what they wanted. Proxies, foreign influencers, billionaires. Yes. I joined at a good time. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Kilo. You did. I'm planning on moving from New England to Texas, ironically, but being able to buy you a beer sometime. Well, that's awesome. I got to tell you about the moratorium
Frankly, I think you got to slow this process down. It's not good enough for the oligarchs to tell us it's coming. You adapt. What are you talking about? We are going to do when the people have no jobs. Jim sounds like he's enacting a trade federation blockade. Holy shit, you're right. I do. Don't I sound like the trade federation? Musk owns the best AI. Yeah. Israel wants Somaliland so they can be the Prince Albert of Africa. No, that was one of the Lunkin. What were they called? The ones that Jar Jar Binks was. Data centers are crucial to training and the development of AI models. The tech giants such as Google, OpenAI, and X are racing to build more of them. Another grievance Sanders has that AI centers is their impact on the environment and electricity prices. Thought that was an impression of that Austrian painter for a second. I can't really do an impression of him. I'd be like, that's the only impression I have. Gungan Boss Das. Yes, Gungan. Gungan da, Bugan da. Oh, you can win in Dubatakan. Oh, look at this. Heroic dad rescues abducted daughter by tracking her cell phone after Christmas Day kidnapping. We're gonna go to this story next. I just saw this. FBI threatens Somali scammers. Let me do this. I'll do this right here. I got it right there. That's a be our next story. We're seeing data. Oh, here we go. We're seeing the data centers sprouting up all over the country, raising the electric bills for the people in the communities. I'm not very good at voices. I should probably stop. I'm going to love the upcoming AI Tech Bros versus full battery EV Tech Bro war for electricity that's brewing, especially in California, where they already can't keep the lights on. Yeah, it's going to be funny. Oh, Terry's going to sleep. Good night, wonderful friends. Good night, Terry. Gungan. Gungan. The Vermont senator had endorsed a national AI moratorium earlier this month, similarly arguing that democracy needs to catch up to the novel technology. In sharp contrast to Sanders' grave concerns, the Trump administration has opted to embrace the technology, framing it as an arms race with China and encouraging tech giants to furiously pursue it. Well, yeah, of course, Bernie Sanders wants China to be the winner in AI because he wants commies to win. He's trying for anything to get commies to win. Trump, who has made David Sachs his AI and crypto czar, took executive action earlier this month aimed at undercutting states from regulating the nascent technology too aggressively. The executive order tasked the Justice Department with filing lawsuits against states that crack down on AI. It came after repeated failures to pass a moratorium on state-level AI regulation in Congress. Nothing at this point that he's fearful a lot when it comes to AI. Sanders accused Trump of being bought off by big tech. The billionaire is bought off by the billionaires. Oh, look at this. Stop big tech's war on black communities. Oh, big tech. Oh, yeah. And this is where they're getting all these old people that are retired. They're just putting them out there. These are the same No Kings protesters. These are just all retired teachers and shit getting paid to do this stuff. This is sick. Look, Elon Musk himself contributed over $270 million to elect Donald Trump president. These guys have now come up with their super PACs to try to make sure there is no regulation. Bernie has always been a joke. Yes, they pay them. So yes, they are very powerful, very, very powerful entity. I think this is one of the reasons why Congress has never been responding effectively. Some prominent Republicans, such as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Senator Josh Hawley, have pushed far more aggressive regulation of AI also. But Sanders' call for a moratorium on AI data centers goes further than most other politicians. All right. Heroic Texas father rescues abducted daughter by tracking her cell phone after Christmas Day kidnapping. Texas father. I hope it was a happy ending. You know, like at the end, like two men enter. Why is going on with this? That's not cool, man.
A quick-thinking Texas father heroically rescued his kidnapped daughter by tracking her cell phone shortly after she was snatched by a knife-wielding maniac on Christmas Day. Yes. Joe Biden famously said, we have built the largest voting fraud network ever imaginable. I stupidly supported him in 2016. Learned my lesson. Jim tells you, same story. Really? Okay, let me see. Okay. The resourceful dad immediately alerted police and accessed the parental controls on his 15-year-old cell phone when the teen failed to return home after taking her dog out for a walk. What did the dog do? What kind of dog was it that the dog didn't protect her? The only thing disappointing about the story is that the maniac was alive to be arrested. Well, that's what I thought. Maybe it's going to be a happy ending, especially in Texas, where the guy was found dead on the side of the road. Using the youngster's location, the father miraculously found her and the dog inside the maroon-colored pickup truck with a partially nude man, secluded, partially wooded area. Okay, I'm sorry, but if I found a partially nude man secluded in the woods with my 15-year-old daughter, 2 men enter, 1 man leave, Thunderdome time. Giovanni Rosales Espinoza was charged with aggravated kidnapping and indecency with a child. Wood chipper, bring on the wood chipper. Texas will be the last to go green, SOP. That's right. He then helped his daughter escape her captor and immediately called authorities, who swiftly arrested a 23-year-old. They would have had to call the ambulance to get the guy. Police say the alleged abductor had threatened the teen with a knife and grabbed her from the street. Thunderdome time. That's right. Who run Thunderdome? Master Blaster run Thunderdome. Christmas is a day meant for joy, but this man chose to shatter the joy by targeting a child. I am incredibly proud of our deputies and detectives who worked tirelessly to ensure this dangerous predator was swiftly apprehended and is now off our streets. Rest assured that the Sheriff's Department remains vigilant every hour of every day to keep your family safe. Well, what exactly did the Sheriff's Department do? I know, SOP, Soldier of Providence. I didn't think it was standard operating procedure. Put me in a room with that. Yeah. First, do no harm, or at least do more good than harm. Surgery is painful, but could save the body as a whole. Sex change by lopping shears. Yeah, there you go. Another damn white guy. It is. The dad did it all, but the police pat themselves on the back. Yeah. Well, is there video? The teen was walking her dog at 4:50 p.m. That's not even dark out. And this is a cul-de-sac neighborhood. Espinoza was charged with aggravated kidnapping. He's being held up on. Let's see. We got this. Here. Thank God she was found alive. She was abducted by a 23-year-old man. Was found by her dad. She's only 15 years old, man.
The family of Camila Mendoza Olmos out of San Antonio, Texas, they need our help. On the morning of Christmas Eve, Camilla went for her normal walk in the morning. And for some reason, she never came home and she disappeared. To the piece of shit that has kidnapped this young lady, you are on the run and you are being hunted down. It's not if, It's when we catch up to you, and not a hair on this young girl's head better be hurt or touched when we find her. Camilla is 5 feet, 4 inches tall, and she weighs about 110 pounds. She was last seen wearing a baby blue and black hoodie, baby blue pajama bottoms, and a pair of white shoes. If we're so lucky for this scumbag piece of shit to see this video, drop the girl off at a local police station and just turn yourself in. Because I can promise you that if we find you first, you are going to pray that you took my direction and turn this girl in on your own accord. To Camilla, if you can hear us, we are looking for you. Your father, Alfonso Mendoza, is worried and concerned for your safety and doing everything in his power to bring you home. To the Mendoza family, I am so sorry that you're going through this, as I have an 18-year-old daughter of my own. And I worry about her safety every time she walks out that front door. So we look up to God, and we pray for his guidance, and we ask him to direct us with his light to that piece of shit that currently has your daughter in captivity. To my over 100,000 followers in Texas, with about 20,000 of you living down there in San Antonio, the Midnight is asking for your help, as I am always there for every single one of you if called upon. I need all of you to step up now and be there for Camilla. Don't worry, kid. We got boots on the ground and our eyes are wide open. We will do everything we can to bring you home.
They already found her, didn't they? Find her? I thought they found her. What is this? I don't understand. You gave me this video. It's this guy saying this, but they found her already. Different girl. That was 15-year-old walking her dog who was saved by dad. Okay. Okay. We got this story. Trump says that the midterms will be a referendum on prices. Why this keeps happening? It's weird. It does. It's weird. Why does this keep happening? Why do girls keep getting kidnapped by weirdos? Why aren't these weirdos in prison? Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Lowering energy costs by boosting domestic production has been central to Trump's strategy on inflation and affordability. Donald Trump said he expects the 2026 midterm elections to hinge on prices and perceptions of economic progress, betting that easing inflation, lowering energy costs, and rising wages will be the key to persuading voters to keep Republicans in control of Congress. History has shown us that when the criminal justice system fails, we the people, the vigilante justice system takes its place. Yes. Why are these weirdos in our country? Because they have demon rats let them in. The demon rats let them in to terrorize you and me and our families. Back to the paint bucket for me, folks. Have a great night. It's been going on forever. The internet and social media just puts it all in your face. Doesn't make it any less evil. Millions of young illegal aliens invaded is why this is happening. We open for business. Night, Vince. I think it's going to be about the success of our country. It's going to be all about pricing because they gave us the high pricing and we're bringing it down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is way down. Trump's comments come as the White House intensifies its affordability messaging following a string of economic reports showing inflation cooling and growth exceeding expectations. The president and members of his administration have said that easing price pressures, particularly for energy and prescription drugs, are beginning to deliver tangible relief after years of elevated costs. Inflation cools, but affordability is still a political risk. Recent inflation data bolsters Trump's case that cost of living pressures have eased. In November, the annual inflation rate fell to 2.7%, well below the market consensus of 3.1%. 12-month core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices. So, yeah. Food and energy, two of the most expensive things that you have to spend your money on besides housing They don't count them in inflation numbers. What exactly are they friggin' counting if not food? You have to eat food. You have to stay warm or cold to not die. Why is that not part of the inflation numbers? Slowed to 2.6. That's a joke they play with the numbers. They really do. Undocumented suitors searching for surprise dates with strangers. Still, polling shows that affordability remains top of mind for voters, suggesting that inflation, which hit a recent peak of 9% in 2022 during the Sleepy Joe Autopen Biden administration, remains a vulnerability for Republicans heading into the 2026 midterms. A recent survey conducted by NPR, PBS, and Marist, 3 places I trust, found that 70% of respondents said that cost of living is not very affordable or not affordable at all, the highest proportion of Americans expressing this view since 2011. Oh, but in 2022, they didn't feel that way. Democrats have seized on that sentiment. Trump has placed blame on the previous administration. He said the term affordability entered the political conversation only after prices surged under his predecessor, Sleepy Joe Autopen Biden. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years. Some people would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during the Demon Rat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Energy and drug prices part of the midterm strategy. In his interview with Politico, Trump highlighted his energy policies, which he said has been central to bringing down inflation. Because it's metrics they don't care about. Oh, the cost of food, which everyone needs, the cost of electricity and stuff to heat your houses. Yeah, I don't care about that because everyone has to pay it. So it doesn't really matter. Fuel and energy costs, it doesn't matter. I've seen private cost of living numbers that includes food, utilities, and rent. Wonder if I can remember where. Far more accurate. Yeah. Electricity is down, way down. The reason electricity is down is all because of natural gas prices. It started easing. Because it wasn't winter. But as winter's going to, here's the fact, folks, as it starts to get colder and we have to send more and more natural gas to Europe because of that little kerfuffle happening in Ukraine that cut Europe off of energy. And so we're selling all the liquefied natural LNG to, shipping it over there. It's causing our natural gas prices here in the U.S. to go up, which a lot of houses are heated by natural gas. So there you go. Electricity is peaker plants are all natural gas turbines. So that's a win. And demon rats and the media will blame prices on tariffs, though it doubled from 2022. Yeah, it's crazy. It's coming down beautifully. Lowering energy costs by boosting domestic production has been central to Trump's strategy on inflation and affordability. Crude oil prices are down about 21% this year, helping pull the national average gasoline price to roughly $2.83 a gallon, according to AAA data. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum told the Epoch Times, I don't know. I say Epoch, so that's what I'm going to keep saying. Led to lower prices across the board. And it's exciting to see Trump's policies are absolutely working on bringing prices down. President Trump's on the right track, and lowering energy prices, of course, leads to lower prices across the board. Now the doc shows up after all my medical jokes has been exhausted. Should I try to resuscitate them? Now you know why Trump canceled the 2 coal plants from closing this week. Yeah, the thing that's story too is like, oh, but those 2 coal plants closing we're going to save people money. How is coal-fired plants heating electricity is some of the cheapest? It's like coal is right below, is right there with it's way cheaper to do it by coal than it is by natural gas. It's not as cheap as, production cost for nuclear is very cheap, but it's a very expensive initial investment. It takes years to get that money back for nuclear plants. At a rally in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, he cited new agreements with major pharmaceutical companies to lower list prices. It's been a most successful year of any president in history of the country, said Trump. Your drug prices are coming down at levels nobody's ever thought was possible. Trump also highlighted a forecast beating third quarter economic growth of 4.3% as further evidence of the economic success that he says is key to Republicans performing well in the 2026 election. With control of Congress narrowly divided, Republicans hold a slim House majority and a 43-51 53 to 47 edge in the Senate. It should actually be 57. It should be 57 to 41 because those two are actually independents. Bernie Sanders is an independent, you see. House Speaker Mike Johnson recently warned that losing the House could open the door to renewed impeachment efforts, while several Democrats have said they would try to impeach Trump if given a chance. Well, why, if the Democrats can immediately impeach Trump when they get in office, why the fuck can't any Republicans start impeaching some of these judges? Democrats have no problem impeaching Trump when they know it's not going to go anywhere in the Senate. So why does Jim always say demon rats? Because I say Democrats. And I think demonic rats just rolls off the tongue. Well, because I don't like them getting, I don't like them. I don't know. They'd like to say Democratics, but so demonic rats. I just say demon rats. I don't know, because they're possessed demon rats. I don't know. It's fun. It is. A waste is just fuel if we use more modern reactor designs like thorium based. So much misinformation and fear mongering around nuclear. It's accurate. So yeah. So that's Tom Alzamozmic. Trump predicts 2026 midterms will focus on pricing. GOP claims GOP will lower costs. Don't overthink it, Jim. The left can't meme. Trump's pricing. Oh, no. Trump's pricing pivot, right message, but consistency is key. Look at this. Oh, we were talking earlier about Soros. Just run commercials on illegal crimes against Americans every other day and illegals fraud the other day. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. Far left billionaire George Soros donated $71,000 to Trump hating New York Attorney General Letitia James. Special memes. Demonocrats. Demonic rats. Demonocrats. 3 tries to get that one out. Far left billionaire kingmaker George Soros and his family have poured more than $71,000 into State Attorney General Letitia James's campaign coffers, including $31,000 to help her get reelected next year. Contributions include $18,000 from Soros in July 2024, $13,000 from his daughter-in-law Jennifer Soros, and Soros and his clan also gave James another $40,000 in 2019. And the windfall doesn't even include the indirect support James received through far-left organizations Soros helps bankroll, including millions from the Working Families Party. Oh, what do you know? Soros ultra woke grant-making network Open Society Foundation doled out $23 million to the Workers' Family Party since 2016 through its fundraising arm, Worker Families Organization. And he showered New York with another $865,000 in direct donations since 2018. James's relationship with the Workers' Family Party is all but unprecedented in New York. Oh, look at this. New York City reservoir drops 8 feet, uncovering sinister package wrapped in tape. Probably a body. Quick, I need assistance with my moral dilemma. My dog is sleeping half on my lap. My beer is empty. Ask your dog to get up and get it for you. Otherwise, you got to do what you got to do. You can always just lift the dog calmly. Dogs can fall asleep anywhere, though. So if you have to wake the dog, they'll fall back asleep real easy. Look at Bella. She hasn't moved in days. Seems like days. Oh, now she's going to move. I said something. See, I'm moving the camera. Now Bella's going to move. Look what she does. Why she plays with me. Man, Bella, playing with my money. Emotions like playing with my money. Something like that. Yeah. They found half a dozen or so bodies over the last 15 years as Lake Mead has dropped. Whoops. Yeah, in like barrels and stuff. Oh. In 2003, she became the first Working Families Party candidate to win a race in the state when she was elected to a council seat representing Fort Greene and other parts of Brooklyn. James declined the WFP line for her successful 2018 run for Attorney General in a strategic move that saw her instead run as a Democrat under a ticket of then Governor Andrew Cuomo. Get an ice chest. Yeah, priorities. But she was continuing to embrace the party's progressive values and picked up its endorsement in her 2022 re-election campaign. George Soros has spent years financing the radical left's most extreme projects, and the outcome is almost always the same: instability and disorder that is destroying our state. I mean, he literally looks like the freaking Palpatine from Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine. We saw it with Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, so no one could be surprised that Soros is heavily backing Letitia James. Ideological crusades and political vendettas that put New Yorkers' safety on the back burner. When the same donor who funds chaos underwrites New York's top law enforcement office, the results speak for themselves. James has garnered national attention by pursuing a slew of lawsuits against the Trump administration and the president personally, including making good on a 2018 campaign pledge to investigate Trump's real estate dealings. James' case alleging the real estate tycoon turned president engaged in fraud by exaggerating his net worth for decades is ongoing. But Trump scored a huge victory in August when the state appellate panel threw out the $500 million fine. He was slapped as part of the proceedings. James had her own share of legal troubles. She was indicted for mortgage fraud. James pleaded not guilty, and the case was dismissed without going to trial. Since then, multiple attempts by the DOJ to re-indict her have failed. Gee, I wonder why. Centralia, Pennsylvania has been on fire for 60 years when the city lit a trash fire in a coal mine trying to mitigate trash. No way to put it out. Yeah. Crazy. The president has repeatedly accused Soros of being behind the legal challenges brought against him by James, Bragg, and other far-left prosecutors. Well, it's Soros and Norm Eisen, and basically there's a whole machine of leftist legal scholars, Soros indirectly helped the soft on crime Bragg successful 2021 DA campaign by donating $1 million to the advocacy group Color of Change Action Committee, which spent more than $500K on mailers for Bragg. Soros and his family members donated $45,000 to Bragg since 2021. Michael Bacone, a Soros spokesman, refused to address the donations. We don't talk about those donations we're making. Funny, Russiagate was a focus distraction. Yeah. The Attorney General's office did not return messages. Well, James's campaign spokesman could not be reached for comment. Wow. This story. We got the Iranian hacker group claims it hacked the phone of Prime Minister's chief of staff. In a message published on X, the Iranian hacker group Handala claimed that it hacked iPhone of Zatsi Braverman, who serves as the chief of staff to Prime Minister Bibian Netanyahu. The Iranian hacker group Handala announced Sunday that it had successfully hacked the personal mobile phone of Ziki Braverman, Tzatziki, Chachi, and the group called the hack Operation Bibi's Gate, the fail of the gatekeeper. Repose people, Tides Foundation, and WF has corrupted the political system in Canada. As Hamilton would have said, some Venn diagram of the bladders and diaphragm have spoken, and we must listen. Because if nobody listens, then nobody hears, and more words out. And if nobody hears, it's like, does a tree fall in the forest if we didn't hear that they a chainsaw? If you don't hear a chainsaw, does a tree fall in the forest? You're going to move again? Every time I move the camera, it's like she hears it or something. She's going to keep moving. To Netanyahu's inner circle, to every official who clings to the illusion of secrecy, every secret entrusted to Braverman, gatekeeper, and vault is now wide open. We have everything: encrypted chats, hidden deals, shameful moral and financial indulgences, abuses of power, extortion, payments. The hacker network also threatened to reveal more details about the Quartergate affair. Today, you will finally understand what happened. The files, the recordings, the thread Raven's double life, every secret that ties the regime to the heart of corruption is about to surface. Do you complain when you fart? I don't know. Earlier this month, the group announced it had hacked the personal phone of former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Bennett later admitted that they had only managed to hack his Telegram account and that the phone itself had not been breached. As part of the hack, his contact list was exposed, as well as distribution of photos and chat conversations, including some fake content, such as a photo of him alongside David Ben-Gurion. Oh. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. You can see my chats. I pull up your chats, Mad Hatter DC. I pull up your chats all the time. What are you talking about, Potato Biden? I'm not ignoring your chats. The Knights of Malta once owned the Greek island of Rhodes before they lost it and went to the island of Malta. So CNN's Jake Tapper pleads to the public to stop bullying Tim Walz. It's not his fault he's retarded. Jake Tapper has one Christmas wish: stop being awful to Tim Walz. He said he reacted to a video of people shouting the R word at Tim Walz outside the governor's mansion or something, or his house. Get angrier? If I get any angrier, you won't like me when I'm angry. Everyone really needs to take a breath and stop being awful. Stop rewarding awfulness and stop promoting awfulness with your algorithms. Happy and fulfilled, confident people don't spend time doing any of this. I'm happy and fulfilled. I spend my time doing this, being awful. Trolls have harangued Walz and his family with the R word ever since President Trump did so in a rambling. See, why are you saying Trump was rambling? Trump wasn't rambling. He was very succinct. It's not a screed. In that post, Trump claimed refugees from Somalia are taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Are you seriously retarded, Governor Walz? Is he saying that Minnesota was never great? Was never once great? Yeah. F retard Timpon Walz. Yeah. Yeah. Jake Tapper thinks his opinions mean something. It's crazy. When given a chance to walk back his language, Trump doubled down. So there's something wrong with Walz.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Here goes the retard.
Before we get into the budget, though, I want to start off and address the vile racist lies and slander towards our fellow Minnesotans. Donald Trump's.
So it's racism and slander and lies to say the fucking Somalis are robbing Minnesota, even though they said it's like $9 billion they've stolen. Yeah. R word. It's retard, you retard.
Calling our Somali neighbors garbage.
They are garbage.
In the state of Minnesota, hellhole.
Actually, he never called. I'm sorry. Trump never called smelly's garbage. I'll say garbage is smelly. Because smelly garbage is horrible, rotten garbage. He said Ilhan Omar was garbage. It takes a retardant to drink horse semen. Yeah, tell Walz to stop being awful.
I'm assuming is unprecedented for a United States president.
No,
We've got little children going to school today who their president called them garbage. This shouldn't be that difficult.
You fucking liar. You are a garbage retard because he never said that. Walz told reporters people were driving by his house and using the R word that he hadn't seen an elected Republican condemn Trump's language. So look, I'm worried. We know these things, they start with taunts and they turn to violence. Oh, you mean like Trump getting shot like that? That kind of violence? Jake Tapper scolding people for driving by Tim Walz's house and yelling retard. People are driving by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's house and yelling retard. We saw the videos. I saw videos of it. Things are getting serious here. I'm on my last beer that I like, and I may have to dip into the stock I keep for guests that I definitely do not prefer. There's not enough from our side. Yeah. How many drove by on Christmas? Maybe Santa Claus came by and dropped a coal down his chimney and said, "You're a retard." Minnesota governor is facing a wave of drive-by taunts. The comments echo. Hold on a second. He's facing many drive-by taunts. Many drive-by taunts. Many drive-by taunts. Hold on. Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm having a problem here. All right, hold on. Why can't I find it? I had it. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like an idiot over here. Damn it, all the hell.
Welcome aboard. This is the life of luxury at Timmy's Royal Daycare.
We offer the finest care on the 7 seas.
I can smell the retarded. Crooked Somalian daycare from
Look,
here.
these hardworking men have earned every penny. And now, thanks to Timmy's Daycare, they can enjoy a life of leisure.
And that's just the beginning.
This should be target practice. Our new daycare facility is the talk of the Somali Sea.
The guys you've been with. Luck
Wow. That was pretty cool, right? Got that one. And then Trump shows off his new America First model plane in the Oval Office.
Ain't this a beautiful plane? Just look at this We're gonna plane. die. You can hear the sound of crying liberals if you listen close enough.
No!
America First. This is the plane of the future.
Oh my God, hold up!
Going down!
This is all Trump's fault! He's endangering our lives! Hey, hold on, don't let go!
America First.
No!
Off. Look at this beauty. Down. This is Trump's fault plane. We're gonna die. This plane is going down. Let's take this baby for a spin.
America first! My baby!
Down.
This is all Trump's fault! To run for office again!
Oh my God, we're gonna die. This is a disaster. Hey, shut up. Blame him for this later. We're gonna die. For Trump's fault.
That's right!
Again.
Blame Trump! Blame him for this!
Wow. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just crazy? Wow. That's just nuts. Nuts. That's just nuts. What's this? Says William Nelson 614 says my new favorite channel. Well, I appreciate that. I'm so glad you're here. Even Trump AI is funny, right? Equipment smarter than operator. Easto. Yeah. Yes. 3 a.m. You must be hungry. Yeah, must be. Anyway, I wanted to thank everybody who was here. I gave you guys an extra free half hour for Christmas tonight. I hope you're all happy. And I want to thank you all for being here. Go back and start at the beginning. I'll see you all tomorrow night, I hope. Thank you all, and come on back for Jim to tell you the news.